when we did do the can't win the big one.
Yeah.
With
Don't say
Arch
it. Don't
Manning,
even you fucking mother.
name was put out there.
Come on, man. You guys.
I mean, he can't.
He's gonna do. He's fine.
But
He's
I'm worried.
Fine.
I'm not.
fine?
I like
He's
Lamar
fine.
Jackson. I like Lamar Jackson.
You can hear it in my voice. I really believe
fine.
it. He's fine. I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all.
On today's Pardon My Take, we've got a ton to get to. We have the NFL draft concluding. We have NBA and NHL playoffs. We have our good friend Peter Schrager, who is there in Green Bay to talk about the draft, Shedeur, what happened there, who had great drafts, who had some weird moves. We also have our good friend Stavros Halkias in studio. Great time with him as always. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be a great Monday. There's a lot going on. And guess what? It's Derby Week. Derby Week is here. Gentlemen, suit up in your sharpest. Ladies, let those wide-brimmed hats turn heads. The race is on, but who will rise above the rest and be crowned king of the track? Find out on DK Horse, the #1 downloaded horse betting app. DraftKings is turning up the thrill with the King of the Track promotion. Here's how to get in. Head to the DK Horse app, opt in, and bet $5 or more on a horse to win the Derby. If your pick crosses the finish line first, you'll win a share of $1 million in the prize pool. Who will reign supreme? Download the DK Horse Racing app and use code TAKE. That's code TAKE on DK Horse. Bet $5 or more on a horse to win the Derby for your shot at a piece of $1 million. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. We'll have Randy Moss on later on this week. We're going to get into the Derby, so make sure you go download the DK Horse app now and get ready for a great weekend of horse racing. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Pardon My Take, presented by DraftKings and the DK Horse Racing app. Download it now and use code TAKE. That's code TAKE on DK Horse. Bet $5 or more on a horse to win the Derby, which is this weekend, for your shot at a piece of $1 million. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Today is Monday, April 28th. And boys, we've got a lot of sports. We've got sports coming out of our ears. We had the draft. We have the playoffs. We should probably start with the draft. Mel Kiper might have had the greatest meltdown of all time, and I'm worried about Mel.
I think he'll be okay. He was very passionate about Shedeur. He was disappointed to see every team after team after team passing on Shedeur.
Yes.
But I did look up Mel Kiper's grades in the draft. Cleveland Browns, A+.
A+. Only A+.
The only A+ given out because they got Shedeur. What a steal. You got second overall value. In what round was it?
It was the fourth round?
Fourth round?
Yeah.
Incredible value by the Browns to pick up Shedeur there. It turns out Shedeur might not have been good enough to get drafted in the first round because I think no matter what the character things were, any hesitancy teams had, if he can play football, he would have been drafted early.
Yeah, it was a wild draft because of Shedeur Sanders and watching the slide, which in retrospect, I think we didn't think he was. We talked to McShay. We talked to Daniel Jeremiah. I don't think we thought he was going to be a first rounder. We didn't think he was going to be a fourth rounder.
I think if you had asked me in November, I would have said yeah.
Yeah.
And hand up, the reason why is because Dion has been very vocal about his son being a first round pick, even going as far as to say, like, if I got drafted by the Browns, I would pull an Eli Manning.
Yeah.
Not play for the team. Unfortunate tweet on his part.
That was from 2018.
Has he deleted it yet?
I don't know. That was from 2018. So that's kind of bullshit. People were pulling that up. I'll say this. We're obviously biased. Bias is out in the open with Dion. Spin zone for Dion and the Sanders family. Deion Sanders actually father of the year because he got his fourth round son mocked as a first rounder.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. You don't usually have that happen where a guy ends up going pick 144 is mocked in a lot of mocks as a first rounder. So credit to Deion. Oh, fifth round. Sorry. Fifth round. I once it gets past the fourth round, I kind of all the numbers blend together. 144 fifth round. to the Cleveland Browns, who, by the way, had an incredible logo that looked like testicles from the right angle all weekend.
That was bizarre.
It was
bizarre.
It was the dog bone that was
the dog
bouncing
bone.
up and down, but when you cut off the top of it, it just looked like the draft pick was getting teabagged.
Yeah, just all weekend long. But yeah, so it was crazy. So we had obviously Cam Ward. I feel bad for Cam Ward because his being number 1 overall got completely hijacked.
Yeah.
By the Shedeur Sanders draft.
It's like Walker from a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Nobody ever talks about him.
Yeah, Jackson Dart obviously went to the Giants with the 25th pick. Tyler Shaw, I can never pronounce his name because everyone pronounces it differently. McShay was pronouncing it Shuck. I'm going to go with McShay. Tyler Shuck went to the Saints with the 40th pick. And then we all kind of were like, hey, this is probably going to happen at some point. And then Jalen Milroe went to the Seahawks with the 92nd pick. Shout out Jalen Milroe. He said after the draft that the Seahawks told him that he was the best quarterback in the draft as official meeting with the Seahawks. And then John Schneider, in his press conference, a reporter asked him, he's like, no, I didn't say that. I don't think that, actually. So shout out John Schneider. Very awkward moment. Also shout out John Schneider because we got to get him on at some point. We met him at the Combine a few years ago. Seems like a very cool dude. I don't know if you saw this. I think it was maybe after the first round. A reporter asked how he'd handle an owner meddling in the draft. And he said, well, I worked for the Washington Redskins for a year.
Yep.
So he was very honest about that. He's like, I've been there.
I would roll over and I would take it.
Yeah,
because he's the
knows
owner
it.
and he signs the checks.
Yeah. So Jalen Milroe goes 92nd to the Seahawks. Jalen Milroe is an incredible athlete. You could be like, hey, the upside makes sense. Jalen Milroe struggles to throw the football at times, and that's what a quarterback should do. Then Dylan Gabriel goes 94 to the Cleveland Browns. We got to actually, I wonder what Tony Grossi said, because remember, he's the Browns, he's a Cleveland sports radio host who, I'm quoting him, so it's not me saying it, I'm quoting him, when they got Baker Mayfield, he said, we've got a fucking midget. Dylan Gabriel's shorter than Baker Mayfield, so he probably was pissed. He was punching air. And then, so we're like, what the hell's going on? Friday night ends. Mel Kiper continues to have a meltdown. And then Shedeur Sanders goes to 144 to the Browns, who already drafted Dylan Gabriel. And now the Browns have a QB room of Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, Deshaun Watson, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders.
I love that quarterback room. I do, and I think that Flacco might start week 1.
Oh, absolutely.
And Flacco is a big underdog to do that, too. I think he was like plus 750 last I checked.
Yeah.
So I like the quarterback room. I like the strategy. If you don't have a quarterback, just accumulate all the quarterbacks and it's like Highlander. There should be one that emerges from that group, and then you can go from there for it. I gotta admit something.
Okay.
The most viral video of the weekend
Yeah.
was the Shedeur Sanders prank call.
Yes.
I cannot bring myself to watch it because it just seems like the most cringy, awkward video. I know what happens in the video. I know what it's about. I know who did the prank call. I know who received the prank call. I cannot bring myself to click play on it because that is the kind of shit that I do not want to see.
Yeah.
I feel you. There's a video out there that I feel the exact same way about.
Is it when you put the hole in Tiffany's wall?
Nope. No, it's a video that came out this weekend too.
Oh.
What video?
What video is that?
No, just keep talking about.
No.
What video
Okay. All right. Yeah. Maybe that'll come up in Who's Back. I know what video he's talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. It was.
yeah,
I
did
watched
too.
it. I watched it for both of us. It was definitely cringeworthy. Apparently, so we find out later on, for people who are maybe living under a rock, someone called. How it works is all these guys have their numbers in a database with the NFL. Shedeur Sanders got a new phone just for this situation. So all the teams have all the phone numbers so they can call all these prospects.
Per Matt LaFleur.
Per Matt LaFleur. So the database is there. Shedeur Sanders gets a new phone. So it's not even his regular phone.
He has a draft phone.
He's got a draft phone. He gets prank called. Someone says, hey, I'm Mickey Loomis from the Saints. I know you've been waiting a long time. And then Shedeur's like, thank you so much. I can't wait for this. And then the kid goes, you're going to have to wait a little longer, and then hangs up. So, and pranks him.
I'm glad I didn't watch it.
Yeah. We find out today that it was Jeff Ulbrich. Point to Memes. This is Memes' former head coach.
Falcon. He's a Falcon.
He's Memes' former head coach.
Falcon.
Jeff Ulbrich's son was the prank caller because Jax Ulbrich, because apparently he found the database on his dad's iPad and then took the number and then was stupid enough to be in a video of them prank calling.
So he wasn't the one that was on the phone.
No.
He was the one that was in the background.
He was sitting next to the
managing
kid.
the database.
Correct.
So but he got the number, and they also prank called Tyler Warren, right?
Correct. They think it was the same kid who prank called Tyler Warren when Tyler Warren they prank called him at 7, saying the Jets were going to pick him.
And I heard somebody prank called Cooper DeJean last year.
Yes, someone prank called Cooper DeJean last year. Listen, Jeff Ulbrich, it was a terrible thing to do. Jax Ulbrich. That I don't wish to be him right now.
No, it's
Jeff Ulbrich is going to raise hell.
Well, so he issued an apology, and the internet was split on the apology. Half the internet thought it was a very classy move, well done, good kid, made a mistake, he's going to learn from it. The other half of the internet thought this kid should be run over with a steamroller.
Yeah.
So embrace debate.
I actually thought it was a decent apology. Really dumb move.
He should have listed Mel Kiper in the apology. That's the only issue I had with it. If you're going to apologize to Shedeur and his family and his friends, you should also say, and to Mel Kiper, I apologize. This was a very mean thing I did to you.
Memes, I have a question for you. Do you think there's a chance that Jax Ulbrich and Brick Johnson have ever been in a room together? Because I would love to see that duo.
Yeah, for sure. And they've definitely made some GM moves, and they've definitely been in a group chat with Diana Rossini just leaking information.
Oh,
you think you think Brick is leaking information?
Yeah.
Bricks don't leak, buddy.
Baby Brick leaks.
No.
Baby Brick leaks?
I think there's a good chance that Jax and Brick have been in the same Madden lobby together online, and the transcript of that might be something interesting to take a look at.
I think Jax is from New Jersey, so I think that Brick and Jax have probably been together. I would love to see those two minds going at it.
Yeah, I would love to see that, but that's the Atlanta Falcons' problem now.
Yeah.
It does kind of suck for Jeff Ulbrich right now.
Yeah.
But credit to him for however this went down, being like, yeah, it was my son.
Well, I don't know if he turned in his son. His son was literally on the video.
Yeah.
And it was almost instant that everyone's like, hey, that's Jeff Ulbrich's son.
That's Jax.
That's Jax Ulbrich, who plays, I think, D3 football, running back in. So it wasn't even Ole Miss. Ole Miss got dragged through it.
Yeah,
everyone was like, "Oh, Ole Miss frat bros."
Yeah, so Jax, I think at minimum he should apologize to Mel, and he should also get in the ring with Shedeur.
I'd agree.
3 minutes in the ring with Shedeur, and then they can move on.
I'd agree. We would never prank call anyone.
Never.
Ever.
Never. Definitely not Lenny Dykstra.
Nope.
Definitely not Darren Ravel.
Nope.
And if we did, we would never apologize for it.
Yep. And that's
post it.
Or post it online for
we
clout.
wouldn't post it. Yeah.
Should we call Darren?
It's pretty late.
Should we draft Darren?
Max, as someone who's maybe been prank called recently, how does it feel?
Bad.
Okay. So there's your statement. You just put how does it feel bad, and then say Max Delente, Shedeur Sanders. Both of them feel bad. Okay, so can we actually play the Mel Kiper, just crash out the 15 seconds? This was so good. I loved watching Mel. He was visibly upset.
Yeah.
I've never seen Reese Davis crack. Reese Davis had to crack and be like, dude, shut up.
Yeah, Reese Davis's job is to stone face, be a traffic cop, move it along, and he was like, Mel, come on, buddy. Hold it together.
Yeah. I sent
You're
it to you,
scaring the
Max.
hose.
Max, I sent you the 15-second clip. I DM'd it to you. And it was very awkward.
You know who does know is Mel Kiper.
Mel Kiper.
So
Jimmy Clausen is just about to break through.
I would agree that there have been some misses, but there have also been a shitload of hits.
Yeah.
Like if you look at who's drafted in the first round overall, they're usually pretty good quarterbacks.
It was such a great it was such great entertainment because it was Mel Kiper just not accepting the fact that Shedeur Sanders probably wasn't good enough to be a first rounder, and then as soon as the slide happens, then all of the other stuff comes into play. Because I am a big believer, especially in the NFL, if you're good enough, teams will draft whoever as long as it helps them win. So Mel got it wrong that he was a first rounder. I think once he slipped out of the first round, teams were like, well, if he's going to be a backup, we don't probably want to have everything that comes with this.
Yeah, so looking back on it, at the time, I would say definitely last year during college football season, I thought that Shedeur would be a first-round pick.
Yeah.
Besides Dion, was anybody else saying that?
Well, I mean, the mock drafters.
The mock drafters,
Yeah.
were they going off of any talent evaluators besides just them watching on a screen?
I
Like
think Mel
anybody in the
Kiper.
biz? Because I know Dion said that he would be a top 5 pick last year.
Yeah, he did.
But he meant rounds.
He meant rounds.
Dion was correct again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's going to end up where if he's good, he's going to play. And if he's great, he'll end up making money just like anybody. They're not going to give a shit that he's Deion Sanders' son, and they're not going to hold that against him. If he's good enough, he'll be their quarterback.
It probably will be a good thing for him in terms of humble pie.
Yeah.
Because some of the reports, I mean, the pro day,
Yep.
where it was like, I think they spent $100,000 on the pro day in terms of like a red carpet and like a VIP section.
Retired his number.
Yeah, retired his number. So I do think that this might help humble, and it could be good for Shedeur Sanders in the long run.
Silver lining of all this.
Did you want him to go back to college?
So Florio came from the clouds with some great fan fiction that actually turned out to be kind of true. Florio wrote an article on Friday and essentially was like, he should pull out of the draft, go back to college, make more money now that he's in these 3rd, 4th, 5th rounds. He would have made more money in NIL this year in college than probably his entire rookie contract, because it falls off a cliff in terms of guaranteed money and all that stuff. And Florio basically was like, it's never been done, because if you go to the combine, you usually are not able to get back into college football. But where NCAA is now is the antitrust laws and everything that's going on. They would be able to sue and probably win that lawsuit.
The only problem with that is, would you accept making more money to go back and have to go to school?
I don't think they're going to school.
You don't think Dion makes him go to school?
Well, that was the other part of Florio's thing. He said he should transfer somewhere else.
Oh, I love that.
And coach and get coached by someone else.
And prove it to the world.
And prove to the world.
Okay.
Because there was the other, Quinn Ewers was the other one, where Quinn Ewers had a choice. He was offered, the report was, $6-7 million NIL offer, I think from a Big Ten school. And he decided to go to the draft, and he got drafted, what, 7th round?
7th round. You think it had anything to do with the crazy room he was sitting in the entire draft?
Who?
Quinn Ewers.
Oh.
Where he had...
Dude, that's just hunting.
I think he had like 50 dead animals behind him. Just full bodies. It was a lovely room of death.
Real quick, embrace debate. You guys saw the thing going around the internet. 100 people taking down a gorilla.
That was going to be my who's back.
All right, let's save it. Let's save it.
All right,
let's save it.
Who's back first.
Let's save it. He did say dibs for PFT.
All right, if it gets to you, you can have it.
Okay, I appreciate that. Hey, you're a nice guy. I think that the real star of the whole Shedeur saga actually ended up being Shiloh.
Yeah.
Shiloh's a good dude.
Yeah.
Shiloh's a great hype man, just there with his boy the whole time, trying to put a smile on his face.
Yeah.
And probably the most stressful weekend of his life. Like, there could have been times where he could have gotten real negative, started being, woe is me. Shiloh was just an all-time vibes guy. I love the fact that the Bucks got him. That's good. But yeah, I didn't really know that much about Shiloh until now. Turns out I love the guy.
Yeah. So I don't know what the Browns are going to do. It's very Browns. Someday we'll probably get one of those athletic reports where they say, hey, here's what happened in the 2025 Browns war room. Mm-hmm. And I'm just taking a guess here, but I think that maybe they drafted Dylan Gabriel so that Jimmy Haslam couldn't be like, hey, you have to draft Shedeur Sanders. And then when it got to the 5th round, Jimmy Haslam still was like, hey, no, you still have to draft Shedeur Sanders.
In the clip,
because the Dylan Gabriel one was kind of out of left field.
And in the clip that I saw, GM and head coach didn't look exactly pumped.
And we're Stefanski guys.
We're Stefanski guys.
Yeah.
But that would be one of the franchises he would look at and be like, that is an owner pick.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But I think if I had to guess, it feels like it's going to be a competition between.
It's going to be Tebow mania.
Well, it's going to be
in the same situation. He's just not going to play, but it's going to be all anyone talks about.
I think it won't be as bad as Tebow mania just because it will be. So I'm guessing here. I think they'll have Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett in a QB competition for QB1. I think whoever loses that competition will get traded to a team that needs a QB because of injuries or whatever during training camp. I think Dylan Gabriel will be the second quarterback, and I think Shedeur will be the emergency third string. So it's hard to be a lot of the hype.
Well, what if he's not better in camp?
But if he's not even dressing, I think that does diminish a little of the hype.
It does, but then there will be questions about why isn't this guy dressing?
Yeah, probably.
Preseason is everything.
Preseason will be everything.
Like if he throws a nice touchdown pass in preseason, they're fucked.
Well, let me ask you this: Who would you rather have as your emergency third string quarterback, Shedeur or DTR?
That's easy, Shedeur.
Shedeur.
PTR is not a quarterback.
Yeah, so I feel like they've upgraded.
Eagles.
Is Dylan Gabriel?
Dylan Gabriel, I feel like, is going to be like one of those career backup. Well, actually, he's our guy, right? Didn't Daniel Jeremiah give it to us?
Is he Mr. PMT?
He's Mr. PMT, so we got to root for him.
Let's go Dill.
Yeah, I think he's a good quarterback. He's just short and doesn't have like the strongest arm.
Did you see this fun fact about what the Bucks did? So they drafted Tez Johnson from Oregon, small guy, one of the smallest in NFL history, 154
Bo Nix's
pounds.
brother.
Bo Nix's brother.
No, he is.
Tez Johnson is?
Yeah, Bo Nix's family adopted him.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right,
Very cool story.
So he's 154 pounds, one of the lightest in NFL history. And then as an undrafted free agent, they signed Des Watson from Florida, who weighs 464 pounds.
I like that.
The heaviest player in NFL history.
I like that.
The difference between those two guys, 310 pounds.
I like that.
Difference in weight.
That's
I'm
pretty
rooting
sick.
for Des Watson. He's a big boy. He had me ever since he had that. They gave him a carry in the bowl game, and he had 1 yard rushing.
Yeah.
464 dude falling forward for a yard. I hope he does well because he's talking about how he needs to like play his way into shape. He's got a food kind of addiction that he's trying to get over. I hope that they can help him out with that because I want to see Big Dez playing in the NFL.
The other one I want to see along those same lines. Wait. Desmond Watson went to the Bucks. You're saying, yeah.
They both went
next to Vita Vea.
Yeah,
That will be incredible.
that would be an incredible.
That
line.
is like a goal line stop package.
You want to know how to stop the tush push?
Yeah.
I think the Bucks just did.
They just did. No, he's so awesome. Whenever I would see him on Florida, he just leans on people.
Yeah.
And his numbers get erased because his jersey just scrunches up. He's awesome.
My other favorite story was after the draft, Abdul Carter, he hit up LT.
Yeah.
And he asked LT for permission to wear number 56, and LT said, no,
Yep.
you may not wear number 56. You can make your own way in your own number. I'm on LT's side here.
Yeah. Absolutely.
LT, maybe the greatest defensive player of all time. It's like him, Reggie White. But for somebody to ask who hasn't played it down in the NFL, can I have the most important number in your franchise's history, please?
Yep.
No, you got to stand. You got to stand your ground.
Yep.
Say no to that shit.
Yep.
Maybe
I agree.
if you make like 6 All-Pro teams in a row, I'll consider it.
Yeah. No, I agree. You don't give up your number.
No.
It's retired. What are you gonna say, Max?
He wore 11 at Penn State. Like, you could look at it that way, that he's already done this before and worn like a legacy number and lived up to it. So like maybe he
Doesn't everyone wear 11 at Penn State though?
I mean,
Every player?
No, but like,
Micah Parsons, LeVar Arrington.
Yeah. It's
just
like the Dallas Cowboys '88.
but it's not. Yeah, it's not retired.
Yeah.
No, but I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
yeah. He's already
just,
proven
yes,
it.
Yeah.
You can't be a legacy vampire. Go make your own way.
Also, speaking of numbers, I was worried about Matthew Golden, the Packers' first-round pick, but he picked number 22 for a wide receiver. Yuck.
Yeah, that's tough.
So bad.
That is so slow
That
for a
is
wide
so
receiver.
bad. That's maybe the worst you could pick for a wide receiver. They got to put the numbers back to old school.
I think
I don't like this shit.
22 is terrible. 28, real bad. 29,
Well,
bad.
28's a running back.
Yeah, well, so is 22.
Yeah, it's crazy. But 22 is not even a good running back. 28 is
Yeah.
at least a good running back.
25 is a good running back.
Yeah. But 22 is a nothing.
23
I don't
is-
even-
got that Jordan, so it's okay.
Yeah.
To embrace debate, I meant to bring this up on Friday, but this was from Ryan Fitzpatrick's Twitter replies after Zach Wilson signed with the Dolphins for number 0. He said, it might be silly perception. This was like in the replies. He said, it might be silly, but perception matters in this business, and a QB trying to resurrect his career wearing number 0 doesn't scream serious QB.
I agree.
Absolutely true.
It screams
Right? No
like
debate to be embraced.
It screams like you're just fucking around.
young punk.
Yeah.
It's a young punk number.
No one believes in me.
Not even you.
No.
Jason Tatum wears 0.
Different.
Basketball's so different. Also, what were you going to say, Max? You like the number 0?
No, I was just itching my
Itching
my
your
face.
nose. Yeah. By the way, the booth smells bad. I
It
don't
does.
know what they're doing in there. We got problems.
tell ya.
Memes
Meatballs.
dressed like Luca today. I don't know what's going on.
Corporate Luka.
Other stories I liked. Did you guys see that Lions 6th-round draft pick Ahmad Hassanein on the phone with Dan Campbell said, "I will die on the field for you, coach." I think that's the one guy you can't say that to because he'll just be like, "Okay, great. Now I have my week 1 motivational speech.
Who was the guy that the Cardinals drafted, the linebacker, like 3 years ago? And on the call that he made, he was like, "Let's fucking kill everybody.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill everyone. I'm going to die on the field." I think Dan Campbell respects that.
But he's going to make them do it.
Dan Campbell might force people. Like, if you get a call from me on draft day, that means I'm about to pick you. If the code word is, I will die on the field for you.
Also too soon, because I think the only person who's ever died on an NFL team was that Lions player in like the 60s.
I was going to say prayers for DeMar.
Yeah, prayers for DeMar. But I'm pretty sure that was don't fact check. Well, fact check me. Lions player died on the field. I'm almost positive that was the only death on the field in the NFL. So, too soon, bro. How could you do that? We also, did you guys see Jackson Dart said that out of anyone he wants to train with, it's Jameis Winston.
Yep.
This was before he was drafted.
So he'd be a great teamate.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's synergy. What, Hank?
Is he going to be able to beat Jameis out with that mentality, though?
I don't know.
This is an extreme peek behind the curtain of a non-football guy, but the clip of Gruden and Jackson Dart was going extremely viral.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't it seemed like people were making fun of Jackson Dart.
Yeah, because he doesn't have.
But I didn't fully understand why. Like, it didn't seem like that bad of a clip.
We don't teach the kids hard counts anymore.
Oh, the clap.
Yeah, so his snap count in college was just this.
You want to play the clip, Max?
Clap your
That's
hand.
just up-tempo offense. It's rinky-dink
Yeah.
offense. By the way, I was right. It was Chuck Hayes in 1971 died on an NFL team, on an NFL field for the Detroit Lions. So officially too soon. We're done clapping.
USC, I see this guy.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You ready?
Yeah. No, I want to hear the snap count.
Yeah.
Really? Every time?
Every time.
Do you have like a dummy clap or anything?
Yeah, we call it purple.
What's that? For 3 years, you've been clapping. I think I could do that.
Let me hear it.
No, I ain't doing it.
Yeah,
dummy clap.
he likes a hard count.
I like how their dummy clap is just clapped twice.
Yeah.
I'll never
They call
figure
it
this
purple.
out. Yeah.
Why do you need a color for it? What else from the draft? Oh, I wanted to say, we give this speech every year, but the draft grades are so funny because you can go, depending on your team, you can go and find a great draft grade for your team or a bad draft grade for your team. We always bring up the 2012 Seahawks draft class from Bleacher Report graded a D. That was the draft class that got Bruce Irvin.
Oh, they gave it an F.
Oh, they give it an F. Bobby Wagner, Russell Wilson, Robert Turbin, and Jeremy Lane. And they gave it an F. I also found a very funny tweet that basically sums up the entire trying to grade how the draft went for your team. This is from ZWK Football. Based on the consensus value of the picks they made, Atlanta had one of the best drafts and the LA Rams had one of the worst. Including value gained / lost from trades, the Rams had one of the best drafts and Atlanta had one of the worst.
Okay, so
there you go.
What I do love, though, about the draft grades is that the draft grades are issued by people evaluating teams on how they picked according to what the person who's writing the draft grades has said they would have done.
Even if it's not
It's saying how smart are you as smart as I am?
Right.
If you're perfectly as smart as I am,
right,
then I will give you an A.
And even if it's someone grading the drafts that didn't have a mock draft themselves, they're just grading it on what other people thought the draft was going to happen, how other people thought the draft was going to happen. But yeah, I don't know. Did you guys like your draft? I thought the Bears probably should have gotten a running back. Got sniped a few times. Mm-hmm. Maybe should have gotten more defensive line, but I do like Luther Burden.
I was a little bit confused with the Commanders draft class. I like the first pick that we had.
Yeah.
Guy from Oregon. He's big. That's my analysis. He's very athletic, good feet, used to play running back.
I forgot to tell you, Nate Tice, our friend who we're going to have on in football season, his dad, Mike Tice, he had his dad grade all the offensive linemen for his podcast, and Mike Tice did have your guys his favorite outside, tackle.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that a lot. I also like Trey Amos. Mincy texted me, said great player.
Okay.
So that's my analysis of that one. And then we got really fast wide receiver. We got what I've heard to be a great value running back. He didn't play last year because he was transferring. There was a whole thing about whether or not he used up his red shirt because when he was a freshman, there was a controversy about some other player taking his jersey number and then playing in games using his jersey. So those stats got wrongly attributed to the wrong guy.
Was it JUCO?
No, this was I think it was at an HBCU. I think it was in the SWAC. But then, so they ruled that he couldn't play last year. And there's a bunch of people who are like balls deep in the draft that are saying that this could be one of the best running back selections that you could make. We got him in the 6th. So
Okay.
People are saying Trayvon Henderson was the steal of the draft.
yeah,
That was if you saw
A lot of Bears fans were mad at me. I got a lot of people being like, "Fuck you."
The Bears should have gotten a running back. They didn't. They did late. They got the kid from Rutgers, but you could see how it fell. They got sniped like 3 different times where there was a run on running backs right before their pick. So that part sucked.
but the part that confused me was that we didn't get an edge rusher at all.
That was kind of the same with the Bears.
It was kind of puzzling because we lost a lot of production, and we thought that we would fill it with either a free agent or at the very least in the draft. But I'm just going to trust Dan Quinn.
Yeah.
I love the Patriots draft. I would die for Mike Vrabel. I'm so excited for this year.
You got all the way into the draft?
I just people telling me that Trayvon, he was the steal of the draft, and then we drafted a wide receiver, and they had a highlight of him just burning Travis Hunter, who number 2 pick in the
There you
draft.
go.
So,
Change of the game.
How'd you guys like your draft?
How he did it again.
Oh, nice.
That's just a thing that every time the Eagles would pick, you just go on Twitter and everyone just says how he did it again. And
Yeah.
that's awesome.
What about you, Memes?
I liked our draft. There was one questionable
See,
pick.
this is what we're saying. Everyone likes their draft.
Didn't draft a defensive tackle though,
Yeah.
so not great because people are saying this was like a generational defensive line, defensive tackle draft.
That's kind of how I feel with the running backs and the Bears. Like, how did we not get
Did you draft players that ended in B?
We did. We got the fastest linebacker ever from Maryland. Actually, our good friend Tom Fernelli thinks that maybe we drafted him to be the running back,
Gotcha.
even though he doesn't play running back because he's so fast.
I thought we got the fastest linebacker in the draft.
maybe we both did.
Fast linebackers.
Yeah,
We got the most athletic linebacker.
I think we did.
No,
So,
is he as fast?
Ruben Hippolyte Jr.
we definitely got the most athletic linebacker.
second. I don't know if that's true.
Jahad Campbell definitely was.
Oh, we're not talking about first round.
But it's a linebacker.
Okay, well that's cheating.
I also think we were going to draft Shedeur.
I think so.
I
like how you say Shedeur.
Sure.
Shedeur.
Yeah, they asked Howie Roseman after the draft because the Browns picked him, the Eagles were the very next pick, and they asked him after if he was going to draft Shedeur with the next pick, and he was like, "We're not talking about people we didn't draft. We're only worried about the people that we did."
Ooh.
But he didn't answer the question.
How fast was your guy's linebacker?
I just read that he was the fastest in the draft.
What was his 40 time?
I don't have it in front of me.
My linebacker was 4.42, so maybe not the fastest, but that's pretty fucking fast.
Okay.
I think ours was 4.5.
Ooh.
This guy was a 6-year senior and team captain.
Oh. You better be if you're
I love team
6-year
captains, yeah.
senior. You've been there long enough.
Internet's also gone soft because Patriots drafted Kobe Minor with the
Oh,
last
so
pick
funny.
and tweeted a minor.
Yep.
And they
They deleted it.
Deleting it.
That's bullshit.
Great tweet.
But
Great
why,
tweet.
why,
Great
did
tweet.
why would you delete it?
You know how it goes. Once the higher ups start calling me like, what is this?
Yeah,
Is this
one
about?
person, I don't understand how this works. All right, well, you look up your guy's speed. What was your guy's name?
Kane Medrano.
He sounds fast.
Kane Medrano.
He sounds fast.
UCLA. Big.
He sounds really fast.
Let's see. Washington Commanders 4-4.
4.46 is what I'm looking at right now. That is not as fast as my guy. Sorry. Looks like I got the fastest.
It said fastest linebacker in the draft.
4.46. But my guy went 4.42. So AI's lying.
I'm seeing game speed right now. I got my guy catching a guy who runs a 4.4 from behind.
This is some good fucking linebacker talk.
Oh, here we go. There's a YouTube video. Washington gets athletic freak in all caps.
So our good friend Tom Fernelli, there's a site called Relative Athletic Score where it has you ranked in your position group. So you see this right here, PFT. So this is him as a linebacker, and then this is him as a running back. He would basically be like a freak in all of the running back.
Well, I'm seeing an article right now. Medrano ran a 4.46 second 40-yard dash, making him the fastest linebacker at this year's combine.
I mean, I'm seeing that Ruben Hippolyte II ran a 4.42.
Was that at the combine
I
or
don't
pro
know.
day?
What's your guy's relative athletic score on your guys?
It's not great on the linebacker, but it's great if he was a running back.
Well, my guy's 9.88 on the relative athletic score.
He comps out as Saquon Barkley if he was a running back.
It's pretty good.
All right. Well, I mean, yeah, it might have been his pro day.
I got a 9.83 relative athletic score. What was yours, Max?
9.88. Sorry about it.
Yeah. 9 point, what was your athletics?
Yeah, but you spent a
first 40-yard
pick.
dash was what? 9 point what?
I'm just saying his score. His score was a 9.88.
Mine was a 9 point. Oh, no, it's bad, actually. Oh. Well, it's 8.22, but it's a 9.2 as a running back. This all started because I said that I think that the Bears might have drafted a linebacker that's going to be a running back per Tom Fordelli. He ran a 4.42 at his pro day. So that's probably where it is.
Shorter hash marks.
You had the fastest at the combine. All right. Any other draft things? They're all the draft grades. I basically came to the conclusion this weekend too. Like the only way that you can have a steal of the draft is you just have to draft a guy who's got problems. Mm-hmm. Like Mike Green to the Ravens, everyone's like, steal the draft. It's like, well, he's been accused for some shit. Yep. So that's why he was the steal of the draft.
Oh, there was another big moment on Thursday. I don't think we talked about it on the show, but we had foretold it. They did the draft. They did the NFL schedule release date.
Yes.
So on Thursday, they unveiled it. The NFL schedule will be released on Wednesday, May 14th. Mm-hmm. So we have an official date on that yet. Yeah. I just love the release date. Yeah. The pageantry of it all.
It feels great. Great. I had two last things. One, I loved the Saints pick of Quincy Riley because they had his superlatives up there, and it was twitchy, will gamble, excellent competitiveness. So it sounds like basically me every Sunday when I drink too much coffee. Mm-hmm. Just ready to gamble. And then here's one that want to feel old, PFT. This came from at Mikey Sanders Strill. I don't think it's actually the right one.
It's not him. Yeah, I saw that one.
Want to feel old. Tyler Shuck will officially be the last person drafted to the NFL born in the 1990s.
Okay, that does make me feel old.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if that could be official because I'm sure there's an old...
Like, what about me?
Yeah, there's an old player in college football right now that could maybe have like an incredible 8th year and get drafted. But as of right now...
What if I just like get in the gym hard, develop the leg, just work on my kicking game, and also maybe enter the Make-A-Wish program, and then at some point maybe I'll be drafted in the 7th round, and I will be the last one drafted.
Yeah.
You know what the real want to feel old moment's going to be? When Cromartie Jr. retires. That is going to make me feel old as fuck.
Yeah. Or Asante Samuel Jr.
Yeah.
Or Frank Gore Jr. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's going to be some of those. Yeah, when you see
when the juniors start to go.
When you see their whole career and their dad's whole career. Yeah, overall, good draft, though. Shedeur made everything interesting all the way till Saturday.
He did.
Like, I know I was watching on Saturday being like, this has to happen eventually.
I'm never going to watch that prank call.
Actually, no, I don't know if they might have gotten, the original version was very glitchy because it was ripped from a Twitch stream that was glitchy, so that made it not as bad. Mm-hmm. But then I think they got a cleaner version that was bad. It was tough to watch. Very tough to watch.
He'll be okay.
He'll be fine. And if he's not, he'll still be fine.
Yeah, he's good.
If he's not good in the NFL, he'll still be fine.
He's going to be okay.
He'll be fine. The draft party room with the legendary and everything, that, in retrospect, was that the worst draft party ever?
That was the worst draft party ever.
That was the worst.
Well, except for Shiloh.
No, but Shiloh didn't really have a draft party. He just was at Shedeur's.
Yeah, but he made it so much more fun than it would have been.
Yeah.
It was funny when he said, I kind of fired my dad as my agent because he hasn't been doing a good job, so hired an agent.
Yeah. Yeah, he did have a good sense of humor. That quote when he said, he's like, if they're going to make him wait, what are they going to do to me?
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta mention the Jaguars GM, which we mentioned on Thursday night, but then he doubled down.
Yeah.
The press conference, an all-time just chill out, man. I
disagree.
He's crazy.
I liked it though.
Yeah.
He did a great job of just gassing up his guy.
But here's the problem. James Gladstone seems like a really nice guy. He's 34 years old. It does feel like he's trying a little too hard to be something that he maybe isn't yet.
But I'm thinking maybe he is.
Maybe he is this visionary. All right, here's James Gladstone, the Jaguars GM, talking about Travis Hunter's introductory press conference.
So as we sit here Travis Hunter is a Jacksonville Jaguar, and really what comes to mind for me, right? Thinking about the sport of football.
I don't like how it says
really
right.
the power of the game itself, right? Its capacity
rights.
to ignite belief, right? Belief in ourselves, belief in others, right? Belief in
Right.
achieving.
Yeah, there's too many
what
rights. I didn't hear the rights
may
earlier.
Deem impossible. Travis Hunter, he embodies belief, right? He's a rare
That is right.
person.
Mm-hmm.
He's a rare player, but he's also a reminder that the boundaries of the game of football were built to be challenged.
I kind of like it.
And so the decision to select him was actually a statement
Mm.
for how we plan to move.
No pressure on Travis.
This isn't just a draft
And we
pick.
want him
Yeah.
to be nothing more than him. Because when he is,
Yeah.
he elevates the space around
No,
him.
Yeah.
no.
All right, so
no,
here-
no. That ending, Max,
No, he
that was
does-
Kamala speaking.
No, when he
When
elevates,
we move forward,
no,
we have to move past.
But what he's saying
whatever
about
the fuck
Travis
you
is
would say.
like, we didn't know that humans were capable of doing this. Travis has heard his whole life, this is impossible to do, and he's like, I don't give a fuck. I like everything about this speech except for the rights. When he throws in all those rights and he nods his head, that's a trick. He's doing a trick on you.
I think bro just took a little too much Vyvanse. That's all.
I think this is good.
I loved it. That had me ready to believe in the Jags.
Like, this isn't about football anymore.
It's not.
This
It's
is
bigger
about-
than football.
This is about life. This is about the universe.
the
This is-
belief in people.
This is about the possibilities that humans have inside them if you don't listen to the voice telling you no.
Play back the last 10 seconds. Tell me that's a Kamala Harris campaign slogan.
When he is, he elevates the space around him. From the football field
Wait, go back
to
a
the
little bit
city,
further.
to be nothing more than him.
Yeah,
Because
start
when
start
he
back
is,
there. Yeah.
he elevates the space
This
around
is
him.
this sounds like a bad.
From the
Go back.
football field to
This
move
sounds like a politician.
was actually a statement for how we plan to move, who we are, and we want him to be nothing more than him.
Yeah.
Because when he is, he elevates the space around him.
That makes sense to me. I got to admit, that makes sense to
I
me.
agree.
You could just be like, he's really fucking good at football.
Well, what he's saying is, like, we're losers. But with this guy around, he has the potential to make us not
That was an
losers.
awesome delivery.
Yeah, listen,
His timing was flawless.
If
I'm
I-
in on this guy.
If I ever have to get introduced at any big occasion, I want this guy next to me,
Yeah.
grabbing the mic and being
Just
like,
saying, right?
before PFT gets out here, I just want to say a few things about him. This guy is the ultimate bro. Like this
Right?
guy. Yeah.
Right?
Right?
Right.
The right stuff does feel a little slimy.
Right.
It's like corporate speak.
Also, he could just be simply being like a perfect shield for Liam Cohn, because when he starts going, you're like, that other guy seems fine now.
I was waiting for him to try Duval.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I mean, Travis Hunter is that good, so maybe he's right on it. All right. Any other draft things? Draft is complete. That means football's getting close. Feels good. May 14th is our next football. Mm-hmm. Where we get to football schedules.
I do like when they show the behind the scenes phone calls, and most of them are just like pretty boring.
Yeah.
Just like the GM being like, hey, we'd really like you, man. How would you like to be an Oakland Raider? And then the player being like, yeah, I'd like that very much.
Thanks,
sir.
coach.
And then it's like Goosebumps as the title for it. It's a pretty normal call.
Yeah. But you can also there is an awkwardness when they'll pass it to like 6 different people.
Yeah.
Be like, all right, we're gonna get you on now with the president of football ops. All right, now it's the GM. Now we got your position coaches.
Yeah. Here's the
team owner wants to talk to you.
The owner, yeah.
You're just passing the phone along. Mm-hmm. It's like everyone's just like, hey man, you ready to get going?
It's like,
You ready to get out here?
Yeah, I'd really like to get back to my party, crack a beer, and get my dick sucked. If that's okay.
You ready to get going? Okay. Let's talk some playoffs. Before we do that, Stella Blue. The weather's heating up, so stay cool with Stella Blue Cold Brew. Introducing our newest cold brew variety, Ms. Peaches Blend. It was a hit in the hot coffee. Now we're making it in the cold brew. It's 100% Colombian, 100% delicious, and the best part, every purchase helps homeless pets find their forever homes. Make better, fresher cold brew at home in just 3 easy steps. You steep, refrigerate, enjoy. It's so easy to make the cold brew at home. You just put it in your pitcher, put the pods or the bags in, water, throw it in your fridge. You have cold brew all week, and now we have Ms. Peaches cold brew. So grab Ms. Peaches now at stellabluecoffee.com and use promo code PMT for 20% off your orders of $25 or more. Order by April 29th to guarantee delivery by Mother's Day. Sip with purpose all summer long with the Ms. Peaches cold brew now at StellaBlueCoffee.com. Okay, playoffs, boys. Let me just say this. I know there's a certain sect of the internet, our audience, that might be like, NBA, boring. These NBA playoffs have been incredible. Outside of the Cavs, Heat, and the Thunder, Grizzlies, every series has had a moment, and every series has had some bad blood and felt awesome to watch. We had a great weekend of playoff basketball. Where do we want to start?
You want to start on Saturday?
Yeah, let's start on Saturday. You know what? Let's just get...
No, let's not start on Saturday.
Why?
Because the Celtics lost on Friday.
Oh, sorry, it's Sunday, dude.
Oh, I mean, you
I
can't...
forgot about Friday.
PFT, come on.
You're kind of... Don't bring me into this like I'm a Hank hater. You see that? You see what he's trying to do right here, Hank?
It's Sunday. Dude.
All right, what would you
Yeah,
like to
come on,
talk about
Sunday.
Friday?
No,
I mean,
yeah,
it's all
no,
about the most recent
wanted
game.
I hated that game was on Friday.
Max-
I hated that
Max
game was
brings
on
up a
Friday.
good
Game
point.
3.
The mighty Celtics do not look like the mighty Celtics.
Well,
they look very,
Well, no,
very...
Max, here's the
The
problem
Magic
is
are a
that
good team, and I said before the series that they matched up bad for the Celtics.
This does hurt your under 2.5 losses. in the
Correct.
Eastern
but the problem,
Conference
Max,
playoffs.
is that they
Incorrect.
so much time
if
has
the
passed
season
that they
ended today,
managed
we
to
would
erase
cash.
that with a win today.
Say it again?
So much time's passed that they managed to erase that with a win today.
Yeah.
Still a tight game. It's
It's the playoffs. The Magic are good. I never overlook this Magic team. They got some good players. They
you
can't
said
shoot
2.5
threes.
total losses. What do you mean you never overlooked this Magic team?
They're both to the Magic.
Yeah.
Hank's not wrong yet.
If the Magic can get some shooters, they could win the Eastern Conference in the future.
Yeah, Paolo and Franz are
They
awesome.
can't shoot.
Yeah.
It's actually like I thank my lucky stars every game, just being like, well, if the ball's not in Paolo or his hands, they're not gonna score.
So are you at all nervous about the future? The Magic, you're up 3-1. You're going to win Game 5. You're going to...
We're banged up. Celtics are banged up.
And the Magic
Magic have been mucking it up, as they've said.
They will bang you up more.
Brown dislocated his finger, got a hurt knee. Tatum's got a hurt wrist. Drew Holiday's not even playing.
Why is Drew Holiday not playing?
He was injured at the end of the year too.
Oh, hamstring.
Kristaps has a vagina on his forehead.
Mm-hmm.
So we're banged up, but I feel good.
Okay.
If we'll get to Sunday, but if
Well, let's do PMT time capsule.
they just do the thing where they just give the games to other teams, we might be in trouble.
Let's go back in time real quick, all the way back to Friday night. How did you feel on Friday night?
Friday night, it was we were missing our threes, not playing well. Couple missed calls here and there, but it was a game we should have won. I didn't feel great about it.
Okay. So there, Max, are you good with that Friday night?
Yeah, that's fine.
I do. When there is a Friday Sunday game, and I feel like the Sunday game is
You erased your sadness. You're back.
yeah. The Thunder Grizzlies was just credit to us.
Mm-hmm.
We said we're not going to talk about the Thunder until the next round, and we don't have to because they are in the next round.
Mm-hmm.
They're the first team to clinch their ticket to the next round. Also, Cavs Heat, that's just over. Just get it out of my face. Let's move on. There was one in each. One in the Eastern Conference, one in the Western Conference. Just don't even care. Just fucking go to the next. It was the 1 seeds. The Nuggets-Clippers game on Saturday. This series is so good. And this is kind of where my opening statement. If you're not watching this series, you just are saying you have a preconceived notion about the NBA that you're not going to move off of because this has been one of the most entertaining series. We're only 4 games in. This game had a 22-point comeback, and the only reason the comeback wasn't completed was the closest buzzer beater you could possibly ever have by Aaron Gordon, who dunked in Jokic's air ball.
They didn't even have an angle on it on the broadcast for forever. So they had the one that they tried to stop.
They kept showing the worst angle.
And the frame by frame was all off. The frames were too long. You could probably talk on that, Hank, about frames. It was at 60 frames per second or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't enough frames. They played this one in super slow-mo, but they never even paused that one to see. It was just playing all the way through. It was as close as humanly possible. I recorded it on my TV with my phone, and my phone set on slow-mo. And then I stopped it, and I still wasn't sure about it because it turns out the bottom corner of the basket lights up slightly before the rest of the basket. And they had to go to like Hawkeye technology. Bottom line is whatever they called on the court, that was probably going to end up standing because it can't possibly get closer.
Yep.
But I have a question for you, and Hank and I were discussing this a little bit before. How is it possible that the Aaron Gordon dunk at the end was a buzzer beater and also a game winner? Because the clock stops when the basket is scored, correct?
I think it's when the ball hits the ground.
I don't think it's when it touches the ground, because I tried to look this up, and I could not find a definitive statement on when exactly the clock stops.
I think it's when it...
I don't think it's when it hits the ground.
So then when is it?
I don't know. It could be when it goes through the cylinder, the entirety of the ball goes through the cylinder, or when the entirety of the ball goes through the bottom of the net.
But remember DeAndre Ayton's the alley-oop? That, if you watch that one back, the ball, like they maybe could have even put a 0.1 second left, but I think it's when the ball hit the ground, because there was still time left on the clock when it went through the hoop.
But this is, yeah, but I think that was a little bit different.
Why?
Because this
was
one,
a dunk to end the game.
No, that wasn't a dunk. This was the first dunk that was a true buzzer beater dunk since 1998.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that DeAndre Ayton dunked that. Did he not? That's a dunk. That was a dunk.
It said that this was the first buzzer beater dunk since 1998.
Yeah, whoever said that, they might have forgotten the alley-oop. We got to respect the alley-oop.
ESPN.com?
Yeah, I mean, how is this not a dunk? The alley-oop was a dunk. Am I going crazy? I'm looking at it. That's a dunk.
Yeah, that looks like a dunk.
Yeah. And either way.
So what I'm saying is, though, if it is when the ball goes through the cylinder, then it should be impossible for that to be a made basket, and also for time to be completely off the clock at that point.
Because I don't really understand what you're saying.
Because the ball has to leave your hands,
right?
Right? If it's still touching any part of your finger, then it's no good if the buzzer is sounded.
Right.
If the light went on. The second the ball leaves his finger,
right,
that's when it goes in the net on a dunk, it's like simultaneous, right? Like the basket has been scored when it leaves your hand.
Right.
So it should be impossible for that to be at the very least there should be like 0.0000. There should be more than 0 seconds left on the clock at that point.
I'm not following.
It's Schrodinger's cat.
I'm not following.
Hank, you get it, right?
I'm not following what you guys are talking about.
Yes, I am following. It depends on the ruling of the hoop, but technically, yeah. If you're saying it's a buzzer beater, then it also shouldn't count.
What? I don't follow any of this.
Okay.
Are you guys trying to get it so that my bet doesn't count?
No, I did laugh though when I was telling Hank. I'd be like, that would be the worst way to lose.
It feels like
ever.
You guys are having a private conversation to get.
I promise
Stephen
you,
Shea gave me a bet.
It had nothing to do with your bet.
Will
it was
there be
just about there? If there's time, so they're saying there was time on the clock when the ball left his hands. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So then, if at that same time is when the basket counts, then there should be time to throw an inbounds pass, try to get a foul, with like no time left on the clock, essentially.
I still don't understand. I know that if there's less than 0.1, they don't, like, the game's over. Like, you can't inbound it. I mean, what is it? It's like 0.4. You can't inbound it and grab the ball.
But you could get a foul.
I still don't understand. Do you guys understand? Am I the only one who's dumb, or do you guys understand what they're saying?
It's basically just fractional seconds. But there's just that they don't do fractional seconds. It's like if it was like racing. Like you want like racing.
You guys have found a way to like ruin the coolest moment ever. I don't even understand what's going on.
No, it's just
embracing debate.
Yeah, it was
that play was so awesome.
It was just a question. It was awesome. It was great to watch. I didn't think about it until about 2 hours later. And then I was like, wait. So they're saying that the ball left his hands and simultaneously scored when there was time on the clock, but now there's not time on the clock anymore.
Yeah. How? Okay. Like a buzzer beater.
A buzzer beater is different because it's a shot that's already left his hand.
Right.
So the clock expires when the ball's in the air before it goes through.
No, but that doesn't. No, it just has to leave their hand before.
Yeah,
that's
what I'm saying.
Right. But it could
the
also
buzzer sounds, so there's no time on the clock to inbound it out.
But there's been buzzer beaters where the ball is going through when the buzzer goes off.
Right, but if it goes through and then the buzzer goes off afterwards, then the clock is stopped when the shot is made. They review it.
Yeah, I think
it comes down to like there was 0.00001 second left on the clock, and they were just like, no, game over. But it was awesome.
It was incredible game.
And whatever you say, like
I do think I think if a ball is going through the basket and with 0.1 before it hit the ground, they would end the game.
Right.
Yeah.
Watch the alley-oop. Watch he literally dunked it, and there was, I don't know, 0.1 second left when it goes through. Find the actual like play of it, not a replay, not that. Just Google it, Max. Google alley-oop, and you'll be able to see the highlight. Also, this game was Jokic just reminding everyone that he's the best player in the world, because if he had his teammates stink. Now, Aaron Gordon was incredible with that. Watch this. Ready? He dunks it. There was still, the ball was all the way through, and there was still like a 0.1 left, and it was game over.
It might not be until it hits the ground, though.
Right.
All right. Case closed.
Yeah, because I think that's I mean I remember that play very well. Oh, there's our guy Pat Bev. Because that was why I was confused. I saw the stat about the dunk, and I was like, the alley-oop definitely happened.
Yeah, so that stat, it turns out originally the NBA said it was the first game-winning buzzer-beating dunk in the playoffs since the play-by-play era began in 1997.
Maybe it's not technically a dunk because it was an inbound pass? I don't
know.
I don't know. But yeah, this game was Jokic being like, I'm the best player in the world. He had 36, 21, and 8, which is just insane. And everyone around him watched. Ready? And see? There was...
Did they put time back on?
No, they didn't. That was the end of the game. That was the last play of the game if you look at the box score. Like Jamal Murray was 5 for 17. Christian Brown was 8 for 19. I wonder if Jokic had guys who could shoot around him, he would have so many more assists.
Yeah, I mean, there have been times in the last couple of years where he has guys that can get hot on the outside.
Yeah.
Like Porter is capable of doing it.
Yeah, Porter has played better, but it's like Jokic had to basically carry his team, and then obviously the Clippers with like Norman Powell and Kawhi and James Harden, everyone's playing like 22-point comeback to have it end like that. It's an insane series. It's an insane game, insane series. I hope it goes 7. It's so much fun to watch.
I love it when Jokic gets the ball and the shot clock is about to expire, and he just does like 3 different pivot foots and then ends up jumping backwards and he throws like a soccer inbounds pass over his head.
Yeah.
And just swishes.
Yeah.
You can't do anything about it.
And the series got a little chippy. It's been fun.
Yeah.
We had the James Harden step back push.
Harden looked like he was ready to square up too.
So
balled up the fists.
Initially, when he pushed, who'd he push? Aaron Gordon?
Or was it?
I think he pushed Aaron
Christian
Gordon.
Braun.
He stepped back very quickly, and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of a pussy move." But then, as the clip goes on, he did square up the entire Nuggets team.
Yeah, he was ready to go,
which is very funny. And we also have this series has given us peak Ballmer, which every fucking owner should act like Ballmer. Like he lives and dies with every single possession. That's how I want my owner react.
I agree. And in this game, it was an insane game. It was insane. So Denver, they had 35 points to 17 in the third quarter against the Clippers, and then in the fourth quarter, the Clippers outscored the Nuggets 34-16.
Yeah,
like leads.
22 point. They were down 22 points.
There are no leads
to start the fourth quarter, and they just kept on chipping away. But yeah, this has been incredible. And I did hit that 31, which was Stephen Shea. Shout out to Stephen Shea. He needs the guy is the dumbest person I know, but hitting a 30-1 on the closest buzzer beater possible is something I'll remember for the rest of my life. Saturday night, Warriors, Rockets, Steph Curry. Steph Curry is just here's what Steph Curry's doing right now. Jimmy Butler's out. He's playing with a bunch of guys who are they're no disrespect to him, but like this game basically came down to Gary Payton being able to run a perfect pick and roll with Steph Curry for the entire fourth quarter. And Gary Payton deserves a lot of credit because like the way he was short rolling, his attacking the hoop, they needed one guy who could do that with Steph Curry because they couldn't score in the first half. And Steph had 2 points through a quarter and a half, and he ended up with 36. This is what Steph Curry's doing, though. He's 37 years old. Steph Curry broke and demolished the Rockets, the James Harden Rockets, the Chris Paul, Clint Capella, those Rockets. And I think 2015 he beat them on his way to his first title. And then, of course, in the famous 7-game series, what was that? I think it was 2018 or 2017, whatever year that was, when it went 7, and the Rockets, remember, they shot like 2 for 30 from 3.
Yep.
He demolished the Houston Rockets. The Rockets then bottomed out. 3 years in a row, they averaged 19 wins. They have rebuilt themselves into a very talented young team that should be good in the West for a long time. And guess who's still there demolishing these new Rockets? Steph Curry.
Yes,
that's so brutal.
Very frustrating.
That's so fucking brutal. They literally went through an entire rebuild, and the guy who tore them down the first time is still standing there tearing them down this time.
Also, you know who's going to be the happiest guy in the world when LeBron retires? Is Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Because then he can be like, thank God, now I can retire.
Yeah.
I'm 30, was he 36, 37
37.
now? 37 still doing this. He can't retire right now because everyone's like, LeBron's still playing. What's your excuse?
Yeah.
Second LeBron's gone, Steph's going to be like, yep, okay, time to rest these ankles.
I know it's very simplistic, and it's not like it's a no-duh thing, but when you watch Steph play, it's not even his shots, which are so incredible. By the way, one of the coolest things in all of sports is when Steph hits one of his dagger threes and he knows it's good and he starts running back before it goes through. He did that with like 3 minutes left when they were up 6, and he just turned around. And that's, to have that confidence and know that it's going to happen is so awesome. But like Steph and the amount of like eyeballs on him and how much energy they have to take to defend him and the gravity he pulls on the court just makes everything else so much easier. You watch it, even when he's not scoring, there's a reason why there's a guy cutting free to the basket. It's because Steph Curry's out there and they can't leave him alone for a second.
Yeah, you know that it's about to be the turnaround shot when he does the thing where he like spreads his like legs out a little bit in midair as he's hitting it.
Yep.
Turns his body. He knows it the instant it leaves his hands.
Yeah.
And then he takes the mouthpiece, chews on it, steps back, smiles. He knew it was in. You knew it was in. You're dead.
It was awesome. So yeah, and shout out Gary Payton because he was very, very good, and that pick and roll was deadly. And it's like without Jimmy Butler, they need someone to step up. And this series still has a lot left, so it's not like the Warriors have won it. But I do feel like Steph, because we don't know how much longer he's going to play. You have to enjoy those. Like Saturday night was one of those. Holy shit. We get to watch Steph Curry play basketball. This is so much fun.
The Rockets also look too young. Like if this game goes 6 or 7,
that's what I was saying.
They don't have what it takes.
This is what the NBA is. You have to go through the wars to climb the mountain. Like, and guess what? Fred VanVleet shouldn't be shooting the ball 14 times or whatever he did. And they lost their cool little after. You see Draymond and Jalen Green go at it.
Yeah, it looked like Jalen Green actually wants to like kill.
Yeah,
Draymond.
That is a win for Draymond. And I'm not defending Draymond because he's done some very questionable things. But if you are at a point after the game that you're so mad at Draymond that you're jawing with him and you look like you're that upset, Draymond is walking back to the locker room and literally saying to everyone, hey, we got him.
Yeah. Also, I would say that with Draymond, if he can take Jalen Green out of a game,
right, while also him getting out of the game, that's a win for the Warriors. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Sunday, Knicks Pistons, Karl Anthony Towns. Good for him. He's the difference.
Just bombing it from downtown.
He is and I say he's the difference. Cade Cunningham is phenomenal. Cade Cunningham had a triple-double. Jalen Brunson is phenomenal. He had 32 and 11 assists. The Pistons don't have a Karl Anthony Towns. The Knicks do. Like, he is the net. When you have another guy, that's why they traded for him. His last 2 minutes where he hit a three, he hit a fadeaway on the baseline where he was basically out of bounds, and then he hit another three. Mm-hmm. That's the difference in this series, that they have a Karl Anthony Towns. Because Cade and Jalen are just so great.
And this game was fun to watch from the start. The announcer said it a couple times. I agree. It was watching a 90s basketball playoff game.
They didn't call shit.
They didn't call shit. There were so many fouls. It seems like every layup, some guy was getting hammered on his arms, getting bodied into the ground. No foul, get up, get back down the court. They didn't call shit the entire game. The very last shot of the game, I will say, was a foul.
Yeah.
They missed that.
The NBA said it.
Yeah, the NBA said it after the fact.
Yeah. That's insane.
It was pretty...
They should... I don't even know what they should have to do, but that's sickening.
It's meaner that they said we missed it afterwards.
Absolutely.
Yes.
They should just say, no, it wasn't a foul. I mean, if they had said, hey, we didn't call any fouls all day, that's why we didn't call that, that would have been a better response by the NBA. Because I was like, when it happened in real time, I was like, well, yeah, of course they didn't call it. They literally haven't called fouls. But yeah, you should be pissed if you're a Pistons fan. And rightfully so, because that was a foul.
It was clearly a foul. It was full body contact, altered the shot. It wasn't even like the guy didn't foul bait him into doing it. He might have not tried to jump out of the way and avoid it, but it was very clearly a foul. So I do feel bad for Pistons fans. That's a tough break.
If you commit a crime and get away with it, but then admit later that you did it, you can still get charged with it, right?
Depends on what crime. Statute of limitations.
Damn, I was going to say.
I think
What crime were you about to admit to?
No, start it back up.
Start the game back up.
Yeah.
And this has nothing to do with you just wanting the Pistons to play or the Knicks to play more games.
No, imagine if this happened to the Bulls or the Wizards.
Yeah, that's
Sure.
I was at Capitals.
No,
I
it'd be
almost said
bullshit.
Bullets.
Pistons fans have every right to be bullshit. As I was watching it, I guess I probably phrased it wrong when I tweeted right after the game, but I wasn't surprised just because they didn't call anything all game. Like they were consistently, we're not calling fouls. They turned fouls off, which was crazy. But Pistons fans have every right to be upset because it was bullshit.
Yeah, those refs should be fired if they don't want to do their job.
Fired.
They
did their job.
They're there
Would
to
you
call
feel
fouls.
this passionately if this was a Western Conference game?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the fact that them admitting that it was a foul is so much worse to me. Like
I
that
agree.
was driving me insane. And I had no skin in the game, but that's infuriating.
Yeah.
Just don't say anything or be like, oh, there was incidental contact, not enough to call a foul. Just lie.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just happy for Cat. He almost got in a fight. I would need to see that. The zestiest fight possible.
Yeah, I do like watching Cat play offense.
Yeah.
And you know what? He's contributing a lot more on defense now too.
He's trying hard. Yeah. But this is why, dare I say it, I actually think, because we'll talk about the Lakers Timberwolves, I think it might have been one of those trades where both teams kind of did better off because Julius Randle adds like a toughness and a bully ball aspect that the Wolves can use when Anthony Edwards needs help. And Cat can disappear at moments, but the Knicks needed another offensive weapon that could be like, hey, I can take this.
Yeah, so it's not just Jalen Brunson going ISO.
Right.
Like
And
trying to drive into everyone's face.
And I said after game 2 that Jalen Brunson, when he foul baits, is hard to watch. I feel like it has not been as egregious recently, and he's passed the ball a lot better. Like you can see that they did not go just straight ISO like they did in game 2. And when he's playing like that, he was phenomenal. I mean, he's an incredible player, and he took over as well. Yeah, that Cat turnaround on the baseline, where he was basically out of bounds when he hit that. That was an insane play. Are you at all worried about the Knicks?
No.
Okay. That's good. Bing Bong? Are you worried about Bing Bong?
I'm worried
Jerry?
about the refs. I'm worried about the NBA. I'm worried about what's going on there. But
Oh, okay, got it. So you're thinking that this is this is rigged.
that game was clearly rigged.
And so what'll they do to you?
It was bullshit.
It's question. My concern levels are much higher for that than the actual Knicks or fucking Jerry O'Connell.
Okay. Wow. Fucking Jerry O'Connell. Damn. The Lakers are in trouble.
I think that this is going to go to the distance, though.
You do.
I think so.
Anthony Edwards was so good, and he's like his decision making has gotten so much better. What did he end up with? 43.
It was over 40.
Yeah, I think he had 43. And listen, that game was fun at the end because LeBron couldn't get the ball in bounds, then fouled Anthony Edwards, which I don't know if the Lakers got screwed or maybe JJ Redick screwed that up. But the way it worked was the Lakers called the timeout to get the ball to half court.
Yep.
And the Timberwolves called a challenge within 30 seconds of the timeout, won the challenge, and then the Lakers lose their timeout.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't understand.
Yeah. That's what happened.
Yeah.
So it was like I don't know if JJ should have waited to see if they were going to challenge before using his timeout.
Well, JJ was upset after the game, and he said that the refs missed a call on Luka. He says that Luka Doncic doesn't just fall down.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen Luka Doncic play before.
Well, he also was sick on Friday.
But then on Saturday, he slept all day.
All day.
All day.
All day. Shams had a report
Yep.
He was like, here's what Luka did all day. And I clicked the video to be like, what did Luka do all day?
He slept.
He literally was like, he slept all day.
All day on Saturday. He hibernated on Saturday.
It was the weirdest report ever.
Okay. All right.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
That's a long time to sleep.
Yeah.
That would mess me up for the next day.
All day. He couldn't do that Thursday and Friday.
No.
Couldn't sleep. Saturday, all day in his bed.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for him.
I have a problem with the Lakers. You can't have two masked guys.
Yeah, they do.
You have one's got to go.
Yeah.
You can only have one masked guy per team during the playoffs.
I also, this is like the Lakers just don't have a full team.
Well, no, they played their entire lineup for the second half.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
Also, we might be late to this, but LeBron James definitely dyes his beard.
Yeah.
Like you can see the outside peeking through, the grays coming out. He's like that Ryan Day shit.
Yeah.
Ryan Whitney shit.
Whoa.
Whoa.
What?
Whoa.
Is this
Going after
breaking news?
No, I'm just kidding.
LeBron's stat line also was very funny because he scored 27 points. How many field goals do you think he hit?
Oh, he shot a lot of foul shots.
12.
He hit 5 shots. Mm-hmm. He went 5 for 9 for 27 points. He went 15 for 18 at the free throw line.
Yeah, he was good from the line tonight.
He was very good from the line. I mean, he was still. I mean, that block he had was incredible. That was like old school LeBron. I mean, he still can do everything. It's just they don't have enough guys. They really don't. They don't have enough size for the Wolves, and
No subs.
no subs.
No
is
subs is
crazy
wild.
when one's a guy who spent all day in bed and the other guy's 40.
And you played on Friday.
Right.
That's insane.
Insane. So I think the Wolves hit the awoo because the Wolves are they're a problem.
Do you hate JJ, Hank?
Do you hate JJ, Hank?
No.
Okay, good. You don't hate JJ?
I love JJ.
Okay, you love JJ. Yeah, Julius Randle though. You guys are like It
is weird because both him and Kat seem to be playing harder on defense.
Right. But
they switched just to different teams.
And Julius Randle has a little bit of that shit to him where he could be like, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to be a bully for a little bit here. Where Kat maybe wouldn't do that as much.
Yeah.
Julius Randle's always a bully.
Yeah, right. But that was kind of what they were missing. Not that Kat's a better offensive player than Julius Randle, but the way Julius Randle could be like, no, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to take this. The Wolves kind of need that a little bit. And,
I agree.
And Naz Reid hit some big threes. The Wolves are. Anthony Edwards he's gone up another level.
We've got some more face of the league discussion going on right now with Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
I do like how he's like not afraid to do anything.
Dude, he goes at everyone.
And he talks shit to him.
And he makes. I feel like his decision making is better than it was last year too.
He's more in control.
Right, he's more in control. Knows when to pass. Knows how to read defenses. But yeah, the last possession where they called the review, which this is the other thing that I feel like the Lakers might have gotten a little screwed on because the original review the announcer said or the ref said was for ball out of bounds, and then they reviewed it and saw that LeBron fouled him.
That was another one where they brought Hawkeye in.
Yeah,
that's a camera
and
angle
it was incredible.
I've never seen before. They just said, okay, you know what, we're gonna bust this out. I know it's going to look weird on your TV, but we can see something that we were unable to see before.
Yes.
Because I was watching the review and I thought, well, that's clearly out of bounds on Anthony Edwards.
Same.
Very clearly. And then they're like, nope, from the drone camera angle that we have above, we can zoom in on LeBron's hand and it clearly hits Jimmy Butler's half-brother's hand.
Yeah.
It's going to be foul. Sorry, LeBron.
Yeah, that was the Hawkeye was crazy there. But yeah, that play was like Dante DiVincenzo, who also had some big moments driving the lane, and then Anthony Edwards just basically driving it with him and him just handing him the ball, and then LeBron did the foul. So you think it's going to go 7?
I think so.
Okay. Hey, look, I'll respect the call.
I think
I'll say
that
this.
might be halfway into me wanting it to go 7.
I'll say this. I think the Lakers are, like, I would maybe even game of the year the Lakers in game 5.
Yeah. That's probably what I'm getting at is I feel like it's definitely going to go 6.
Right.
And then I think that this is an Adam Silver situation.
Oh.
LeBron, game 7, numbers.
Well, that basically will decide who's the face of the league.
That's true.
Because Adam Silver wouldn't do it for...
If it goes 7, that means that LeBron is still the face of the league.
Still the face. Or Luka is.
Or possibly Luka.
Yeah. All right. What other... Oh, the Celtics, you feel we can... How'd the game go today?
It's good. It's a hard fought game. The Magic are a tough team.
Okay.
We battled. We won. Closed out. What, Tuesday, Wednesday?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then the Bucks are done.
Yeah.
Dame, I think, tore his Achilles. Sucks.
Yep.
The Pacers are just better.
Yep.
Pacers are a fun team. They play with pace. I said it last week. I think the Pacers Cavs is going to be a more competitive series than people think. So I put a lot of respect on the Pacers, but the Bucks, Dame tearing his Achilles is like, it already was nightmare time for the Bucks. Now it's like, where is Giannis going?
I mean, it just sucks that Dame, he comes back from blood clots, and you're like, yeah, go out there, play the full game twice in a row.
Yeah.
Pops the Achilles, now he's done. Yeah, I feel bad.
I feel
for
really
Bucks
bad.
fans.
I feel really bad.
Because it feels like that also sucked a lot of the bad blood out of this series.
Yeah. Although Halliburton was going after Bobby Portis, which seems like a mistake. Halliburton strikes me, and he's a very good player, and I respect the fuck out of the Pacers. Halliburton, I feel like he talks a lot of shit only when they're winning.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen him do that when they're like struggling or trying to like fire up the team, and that's the type of situation. You know what I mean?
He's a little goofy.
Little goofy with the shit talking. But yeah, the Pacers are good. I like all their starters we're in double figures tonight again. Feels like they have just guys. Everyone can contribute. I'm excited for the Pacers Cavs series. I want to talk some puck. PFT, I got to hear everything about Friday night.
I mean, Friday was a long time ago. We can talk about today's game.
No, but you
Right,
were
Hank?
there. I'm not. I wasn't saying that because of a loss. I'm saying
Yeah,
that
yeah.
because I need to hear about you and Oldie in Montreal. I cannot wait for this video.
All right, so a couple things. One, that is the loudest building I've ever been in my life. That's louder than Death Valley, LSU, on a Saturday night.
It was their first
home playoff game in 8 years, I think. 8 or 9 years.
Because they went to the Stanley Cup final in the COVID year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they haven't had a home crowd there. Obviously, it's a huge hockey town. Like, they care very deeply about the Canadiens there. And it is the loudest stadium I've ever been in my life. I was amazed from the time I walked in till the time that I left. Like, they're pissed off. They're loud. They're super knowledgeable. It's crazy. So immediately the game starts, the entire crowd starts chanting Thompson at our goalie. And then later on in the game, Thompson got hurt, got taken off the ice. 5 seconds later,
His own guy.
by Stromer, unfortunately. But they started chanting the name of the backup goalie just as loud. They knew the backup goalie's name and were prepared with a chant for him.
Right.
Immediately. Anytime there was like a turnover or just a good pass, the crowd would erupt and go nuts to the point that I thought it was a penalty that had been called. It's like, no, they're just cheering on a small good play for their team. But yeah, they were just an incredible crowd, incredible sports town. I don't want to go back up there. Like, I want to close the series out at home now because like that is a legitimately terrifying place to play hockey.
How was it being with Oldie?
So Oldie is the best, obviously. He's the best guy ever. He showed us around, took us out for some poutine, and I don't understand why poutine is not a bigger thing in the United States. So poutine is like the dish up in Quebec. It's French fries, it's gravy, it's cheese curds, and then they'll put like some meat on it or whatever. It's all the things that Americans love. Mm-hmm. Fried, gravy, meat, cheese. That's like all of our food. What, Hank?
Sounds like a part of my cheesesteak meal.
We should do a poutine. Poutine has
Like isn't that what we like have basically? Minus
Well, that's
gravy?
cheese, not gravy. Cheese fries.
But you can make gravy, right? Anyways, yeah, we definitely should try to do that. But the other thing about Oldie is pretty much a hypnotist because the crowd, you could compare them to like an Eagles fan, environment where they're hostile towards outsiders.
Right.
Not like I ever felt like I was in danger or anything, but there would be people that would come up like aggressively being like, fuck you. And Oldie has an ability to take anyone that's getting in his face because he was rocking a Capitals jersey.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. He has the ability to, within about a half second, take a guy that wants to punch him in the face to the guy's now smiling and putting his arms around him and being like, let me buy you a beer. A half second. I'm not even kidding. This happened probably 24 times over the course of the night. I thought Oldie was about to get into an altercation, not from his own fault,
right.
but somebody else that looked pissed off. And the next thing I know, they're like slapping each other's backs and high-five and taking a picture together.
I love it.
It's crazy. Oldie is the absolute best. So I had a great time hanging out with him, hanging out with Pug. Montreal is a great city. I'd like to go back. It feels very, very European up there.
Yeah, it does.
Like it feels like you're in Paris a little bit.
Did you go to a strip club?
Did not go to a strip club.
They're known for their strip clubs.
Pug was like, please, can we go to a strip club? I would love to go to a strip club.
Yeah,
I was
he
like,
would.
down, boy, down, no, Pug, no.
Super sex.
Pug was like, the Nehru massage, let's go there. I was like, no, Pug, we can't do that. We're on the clock right now.
Yeah, one of their most famous strip clubs is just called Super Sex.
So I heard about that place. I also heard it got shut down. I don't know if that's true. Somebody told me it got shut down there.
Oh no, not Super Sex. It's such a. Hey, how obvious can we make this?
Super sex.
Super sex.
That sounds like a translation. Like like a French person was like, we need to sell sex.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's such a cool city. First thing we did.
Oh, it's abandoned?
It's an abandoned sex
Yeah,
dungeon.
it is. Sex is spelled with an extra E on the end. So, now it's called Sex Appeal. That's
good.
not as direct.
No,
Super Sex.
that could be anything.
Super Sex is a.
So yeah, it was great. First thing we did, we went out for poutine, and then right after that, we went on a walk up to the top of this mountain that overlooks the city of Montreal. And if you go on a walk for like 20 minutes, then you're like, okay, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, of course.
Because like I got my exercise in. Saw a beaver, felt real Canadian.
That's cool.
Beaver out in the wild, that was great. Just hung out with Oldie. The video's gonna be coming out. Me, Pug, Oldie had a great time. I do not want to go back though.
So,
dude, when I say it's loud, you've never experienced a sports environment like we've been in some very loud places before. This was fucking crazy.
Yeah, Canadian hockey just doesn't even count when you do like loudest.
Yeah.
It's like it's already established.
Yeah.
That's the loudest. So today you win. That was a little nervous game because going 2-2 would have been like, I still think the Caps are going to win the series, but 2-2 is a different ball game, right?
Yeah. On Friday it was a crazy game, and we never felt like we were going to win that game because they outshot us. There was so much like energy on the ice. And that fight between Tom Wilson and I think Anderson at the end of the second period was all time.
Into the bench.
They go into the Caps bench when the coach Spencer Carberry was trying to leave, and he said after the game, he's like, "Yeah, I was trying to just get out and go back to the locker room, but I saw two large individuals coming through, so I figured I can't get out there." So then it was just a crazy game. 2 injured goalies, it was nuts. And then today's game, it felt like the Canadiens had the upper hand, and then Tom Wilson pretty much changed hockey. Changed the sport, much like Travis Hunter changed football. Tom Wilson changed the sport of hockey with one hit in the open ice that led to a goal. And
he took that guy's soul.
Yeah, that's Tom Wilson, baby. I love the fact that he's a Capital. I would hate him if he wasn't, and I love him because he is.
Are people debating it?
I saw some debate of it, but I defer to all things Paul Bissonnette.
Yeah,
when it comes to any of these takes, because you will see people playing the screenshot game,
of course.
Especially with
that's when you know the Stanley Cup playoffs are here. Is Tom Wilson slow-mo hit?
Yeah, so let's
debate it.
You can do it that way, or you could listen to Paul Bissonnette, and let me find his take. I want to get the verbiage right. If you think the Wilson hit was dirty, you're a fucking clown and stop watching playoff hockey. Paul Bissonnette,
love it.
He's played.
Yeah,
I think he has several playoff games.
All right, other hockey. We have some really good series.
Yeah.
Outside of the Carolina series where they're up 3-1, and the Leafs. Although the Senators did win in overtime, which is good because I wanted the Senators. When it's Canadian versus Canadian, it's like you gotta let them have one.
Yeah. Well, the other thing about being up in Montreal was they would play songs during breaks in the action, and most of the songs had a pause in them. And in that pause, everybody in the stadium would just say, "Fuck the Leafs."
Oh, I love that.
They're still thinking about the
It
Leafs.
is like everything you've described is just an SEC game on ice.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Leafs lose in overtime to the Senators. By the way, we are going to have some hockey this week, whether it be Biz, Yandel, or Whitney, just so that we can get a full picture because we're not hockey experts. The Avalanche tied at 2-2, which that Landeskog goal, I don't know if you guys saw it.
Yeah.
His smile after that goal was just like sports rule.
It was cool.
Because Whitney told us the story that he's basically been out for 3 years, and he's their heartbeat, their captain, everything like that. He comes back, he scores, and the relief and smile on his face. And there was like there was like a couple literally making out right after the goal with the Landeskog jersey on.
Yeah.
It's like this is sports rule.
It was a super cool moment. Let me ask you a question.
And that series is going to be it's 2-2 right now, and it feels like because we've already had 2 overtime games in that series.
Let me ask you a question about the Leafs, though.
Yeah.
What would you root for if I gave you these 3 options?
Them to blow the 3-0.
Leafs win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Leafs get swept in the second round, or Leafs blow a 3-0 series lead against the Senators and get bounced.
3-0.
I think that's what I would take too.
I don't think they're going to blow this lead. But if you're a Leafs fan, losing in the...
You're thinking about it.
Yeah. And I think Whitney had a stat that it's been like 25 years since the Leafs swept an opponent, which was the Senators, I think in like 2001. And they were that close. They were in overtime. But yeah, when you lose in overtime, you're like, oh shit, here comes the doubts.
Yeah. I would also be happy if they won the Stanley Cup, as long as they don't beat the Capitals to get there.
Yeah.
Like, it would be a cool story. I'd feel happy for Rob Ford's ghost and everybody in Toronto.
It's funny because...
But it's also, if they blow a 3-0 lead to another Canadian team, that, as a fan of comedy, that hits the sweet spot.
I feel like our American shows, because I agree with everything you just said, by the way. I would be... Like, it'd be a cool story for the Leafs to win the Stanley Cup. If you talk to any Canadian who's not a Leafs fan, they're like, fuck you guys. Why would you ever say that? You're basically rooting for the Yankees and Cowboys combined.
Yeah.
Which I understand.
I get it.
Yeah, I get it. But it would be a cool story.
Yeah, also Oldie's a Leafs fan, so I gotta support my guy.
Yeah. We're going to get Oldie here for a live stream. We have to. And then the Jets and Blues. The Blues fucking killed the Jets today. And the Jets are they are the 1 seed, right?
Yeah, Winnipeg, they win the President's Trophy.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a 2-2 series.
Yeah.
And it feels like what's going on here?
Well, there's some questions about some of the goaltending.
Yeah, that was like
the logo.
That was
and
the logo. That's kind of like the Knights Wild series. The Knights, I think, were heavy favorites. They had to win in overtime to tie that series 2-2.
Well, their goalie is one of the best goalies in the regular season, but he's consistently been one of the worst in the playoffs.
Yeah. So
he might not be able to win the big one.
It's Hellebuck, right?
Yep.
Yeah, this is isn't the Hellebuck Binnington Hellebuck's our goalie, right? Yeah. This is the Four Nations exhibition game, All-Star game final.
Yep.
That's
true.
what the matchup is.
Yep.
That should be because he got pulled today.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
He's not been good.
Oh, the Blues. If the Blues, I mean, Binnington would be, if the Blues go on a deep run, like, because when they won that year, what it was it like 6 or 7 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
And when they were basically dead in the water in
Berube?
January?
Yeah.
This would be an all-time run.
Yeah.
Either way, the hockey playoffs have been awesome. Awesome. That game you were at on Friday night, like, had everything.
Dude, it was crazy. It was an absolutely insane game. I missed the Ovi goal though, which was the only thing I'll say. The only thing I'll say about that is that stadium. Again, I'll admit I am afraid of a building. I don't want to go back in that building as an opposing fan anymore. The bathroom situation. I feel like they got like 2 bathrooms in the entire stadium, and so you had to be stuck in a big line of pissers for about 30 to 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And so I was unable to make the Ovi goal when I got back. But that's okay. That's okay. We'll move forward from there.
Yeah,
but
you
again,
can't-
like overall, the people up there were very nice. There was a lot of shit talking, but it was like friendly shit talking. I'm just talking about the sheer volume of that barn was insane.
Yeah. It was that game, and then the night game, Kings-Oilers, which they're playing right now, and the Oilers are in deep trouble because they're down 2-1 in the series and they're down 3-2 in the game as we're watching it. But so I watched your game, PFT.
Mm-hmm.
Had everything, goals, fights, electric barn, all that. And then the Oilers game later on that night, the Oilers were down, and they had I think it was, I want to say it was 4-3. They scored and then scored almost immediately off the faceoff to go up 5-4, which was like the place felt like the roof was going to come off because they scored that quickly, 2 goals. And it was like, damn, hockey fucking rocks. So yeah, it's been great hockey. It's been fun to watch.
Also, is the Hurricane series over?
No, it's 3-1, I believe.
3-1.
Yeah.
It does feel like that series is over, though.
Yeah, it's kind of like the NBA where there's a couple series that are not great. You'd say the Leafs and the Senators and that one. I know the Panthers, they're like a game behind. So the Lightning did win a game, which was good. That series should be competitive. But every other series has been awesome.
Yeah, and even though the Caps are up 3-1, I don't think the series is over.
No, and the games have been great.
Yeah.
Yeah, very exciting. Okay, should we do Who's Back and then get to our interviews? Who's Back of the Week is brought to you by our friends at Truly Hard Seltzer. Truly Unruly Lemonade combines the high alc fun of Truly Unruly with everyone's favorite lemonade. It's the official hard seltzer of Pardon My Take, lemonade let loose. 8% ABV, 100% delicious, 4 supercharged lemonade flavors, Bumpin' Blue Raz, OG Original Lemonade, Punched Up Pineapple, Wild Pink. Level up your lemonade with Truly Unruly. Truly Unruly again. Bumpin' Blue Raz, OG Original Lemonade, Punched Up Pineapple, and Wild Pink. Level up your lemonade with Truly Unruly this summer. 8% ABV, 100% delicious. Was that a little... You were faking us out? Nice. He was pretending to go to the bathroom because he's done that before. Hank, who's back of the week?
Yeah, my who's back of the week is embracing debate.
Oh, what's that?
This was a tweet.
Oh, he's going to steal it from you.
That got 180 million views.
Holy shit.
This past weekend. Also kind of crazy because it's got...
Yeah, read the tweet.
I think 100 people could be...
I saw a different tweet.
That's not the tweet. That's the tweet that got 180 million views?
Yep.
Read the one that got 180 million views.
I cannot read the one that got 180 million views. I will paraphrase it with some alternate words.
Okay.
The hard one?
I think 100 friends could beat one gorilla. Everybody just got to be dedicated to the shit. And that sparked a debate across the internet with people saying whether or not 100 people could or could not defeat one gorilla in a fight.
Mm-hmm.
I am firmly of the belief that 100 people could easily beat a gorilla in a fight. Okay, all right.
I think 10 guys that could really hold their own, that knew what they were doing, like 10 UFC fighters.
But the key part of this
10
is everyone's got to be about the shit.
Yeah, you got to be about the shit.
Because the first guy who goes in is going to get his head ripped off by the gorilla, and then everyone else has to be like, but hold on, we gotta still do this together.
It's got to be like the Nazi meth soldiers.
Well, if it's one by one, no.
Well, no, I know, but like someone's getting
obviously.
there, someone's dying.
Like the advantage that we have as human beings is that we can do a battle plan, put that together. We're not going to go after this guy like bad guys go after Steven Seagal, where it's like, okay, I'm going to run at him, then he's going to step to the side, touch me, then I'll have a heart attack and die. Then you go at him. No, you got to just, if you're about the shit, you got to. I think you could do it with 10 if they're heavyweights. You just surround, you grab limbs, and then you just start breaking bones.
Yeah.
You just start breaking bones.
But
How does one break a bone?
Well, I would honestly just grab his windpipe and snap it. Done.
I think you get 2 guys that just go for the eyes. You got to take the eyes out. If you get the eyes, then you can beat the fuck out of anything.
Also, do gorillas have balls? I'd assume they do. Just fucking hammer his balls.
I was thinking that too.
They got balls. They got tiny dicks.
The problem, though, is what happens when the gorilla gets a hold of one person and rips his head off, and then everyone's like, fuck.
Or just starts swinging him around like a Donkey Kong.
Right. Is everyone still about that shit?
You have to stay about the shit.
If you ain't ready to die, sign up. Warning sign. Don't sign up. Warning sign like, if you ain't ready to die, don't sign up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You got to.
All right, but like let's say it's every male in this office.
We're getting killed.
Yeah, not us. We're not about the shit.
I am not about the shit.
No, for real.
The whole thing with the animal hypotheticals is, well, actually, no, I am about the shit.
You are
I
about
would
the
take
shit.
it.
What are you talking
I would
about?
take. Yeah, you're right. I was honestly being humble. I think I could do it. Just me and Max. 2 of us, 2 guys like us. We could do it after a case race. No problem. Max?
Memes is going insane.
What is he saying?
He's on his... Memes been weird this whole episode.
I'm just imagining one of you guys like running at it, just rips you in half. Like, what are you gonna do?
He's been crying laughing since we started this conversation.
He gets goofy when he dresses up as Luke.
It's a funny scenario.
It's weird.
What I would do personally, I would try to tear it.
Get him on the ground. It's simple. It's simple octagon thinking.
I would cheap shot.
Ground and pound.
I would simply cheap shot him. I'd take out his ACL. I'd break the code.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't know how does that even work, like mathematically, like 100 people with one gorilla? There's not enough surface area.
What?
No, wait. Yeah, no, Max, I know what you're saying. Like, obviously, all 100 people aren't going to jump on the gorilla at once.
That's what I'm saying.
Because you just be jumping on your bros. No, but you have to take into account some of them.
Bonnie Blue.
Some of them are going to get wiped out up front.
Yeah, it's Bonnie Blue.
Memes
Dude,
is
honestly,
going
I mean, Hank's
a joke, Hank.
Hank's not wrong. I think Bonnie Blue could take down a gorilla.
Yeah.
Because she would just start sucking its dick, and the gorilla just put its hands behind its head, be like, "Ah, this is awesome," and then she'd come up for air, boom, right in the nose, knock him out.
I feel like this would be easy.
I think 100's way too many.
Unless the gorilla
But
knows.
every guy, like, I guess you're counting on the people being about the shit.
Oh,
About the
you
shit.
got to be about the shit. What was the tweet, Max?
You got to
If
be
you ain't
dedicated.
about the shit, don't sign up.
You just got to be dedicated.
Everybody-
Warning
just gotta
sign
be
like if
dedicated.
you ain't ready to die, don't sign up. That's a fact. Memes, you think you take it? What if the
I'd die.
What if the gorilla was Italian?
We have a nice meal. Then die.
Then we got to shoot him in the head.
Wait,
No kids, no family.
the big question is the gorilla dedicated to the shit?
Right.
Because I don't think it would be.
If
Maybe
you
it
let-
might be. Gorillas probably just stay
Yeah,
dedicated.
if the gorilla was dedicated to shit, then we'd be in some shit.
Yeah. But I do think that
If you take a gorilla's baby and then
Oh,
go
yeah.
after it.
well, I'm not kidnapping.
Yeah,
That's
listen,
not what I'm
this
signing
is
up
our
for.
thing.
Murdering?
We kill a gorilla. We're no family.
No,
Can't
like,
get them involved. No pipe bombs.
we all know
no
what
car
we're-
bombs.
Yeah, we know what we're signing up for. We're competitors.
This is our thing.
Yeah. This is between the gorilla and
Yeah.
99 of my friends.
We do murder classy here. Gorilla murders classy. I kind of want to see this now. Why can't like Bezos or someone do this?
Yeah. I
Set
agree.
it up. Be like Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast was literally invented for this. Mr. Beast, you give everyone $10 million can compete in the 100 versus gorilla challenge. If you die, you don't get the money. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's it.
Those people wouldn't be about the shit.
Yeah, that actually would.
They
People would
wouldn't
be
be-
running
yeah,
away
right.
from it. Yeah.
I do think the first three, even if I'm saying that I think you could do it with 10 of like big, strong fighters. The first three would be almost immediately dead,
Yeah.
and it would be ugly.
It would suck.
Like it would be a gruesome death.
That's where you
But then
find
you
out
go-
if people
then-
are about the
yeah,
shit.
Yeah.
'cause those guys aren't going in after that.
Right.
Well, I can't be held accountable for if my guys pussy out on me. If they said that they were dedicated, I believe them. I
Yeah.
trust my guys.
Yeah. All right. Who's back, PFT?
I mean, that was my who's back of the week.
That's bullshit.
That Hank
Bullshit.
did.
That's
So I'll just
it.
say my who's back of the
My
week
bad.
is Warren Zevon. Warren
Yeah.
Zevon got elected to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
hell yes.
Finally. And also, why did you think Warren Zevon was back? Because the Wolves?
No, I saw a cover from Stagecoach that was awesome of a Warren Zevon song.
Oh, who played it?
Zach Brown.
Was it good? What song was it?
It was really good.
Werewolves of London?
No, it was not.
Lawyers, Guns, and Money.
It was Lawyers, Guns, and Money.
That's another
Very
good one.
good
Yeah,
song. That song rocks.
Warren Zevon might be my favorite songwriter of all time, and he's deserved being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for a while.
It's crazy he wasn't.
It's insane. So he finally got in, and then also Outkast got in,
oh,
which is awesome.
yeah, they should have been in a while ago too.
Big Boy and Dre got
Hell
in.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I may have been shooting the shit with Eddie Vedder on Friday.
What?
That's what,
Okay,
that's what Mook said. I'm not a big music guy. I didn't.
you're
know,
such a piece of shit.
I didn't know.
You're
anything.
such a piece of shit.
I was
You're
in the
that. Yeah, you're
1914
such a piece of shit thing to say. Were you like hanging out with him?
I was sitting in front of. Why is
Hey.
everyone I was sitting in front of this guy.
Yeah, I
getting-
was shooting the shit with Eddie Vedder.
I'm not a music guy.
But first, Pearl Jam.
You don't fucking know who Eddie Vedder is, dude?
Not really. I don't really know who it is.
What were you
But-
guys chopping it up about?
It was just like ball game banter. There was a guy sitting behind me that like I was getting really pissed off about the Phillies, and then people behind me were like, "Are you a Phillies fan?" The way you're talking about the Phillies, and then
You wearing Phillies gear?
You were getting into Frank.
Yes, right.
Yeah,
Yes.
got
It
it.
was like I don't understand why
You're not even a fan. You hate this team.
Right. And then it's just like ball game banter. And then after the game, Mook was like, "I'm pretty sure that was Eddie Vedder that was sitting behind us because apparently he's a big Cubs fan."
Yes.
And we were sitting in the 1914 club, so it wouldn't make sense that he was there.
Oh, the feeling.
He's
But
a
I don't
cool
know.
guy.
I have no idea.
Brother.
I got to meet Eddie Vedder once. He was a very cool guy. Didn't smell the best, but that doesn't matter because he's Eddie Vedder. And also it was after the Cubs beat the Dodgers to go to the World Series. So oh wow, the Oilers just scored. So I think he also was like drenched
Wow.
in champagne for hours and cigars. That was crazy. The Oilers
How much
just
time's left?
just 28 seconds left. Holy shit.
One other
They
crazy,
just tied it with the empty netter.
another crazy part about Montreal is before the third period started, there were still people that were coming into the arena.
That's crazy.
Like, I don't think they were even checking tickets at that point. They were just like, anybody that's outside that wants to come in, get in here. If you're going to yell, we need you to yell.
That's like I feel like 1980s shit.
Yeah.
Do you have a picture of who was sitting in front of you? This is pissing me off that you were just hanging out with Eddie Vedder and you didn't
That
fucking
was
say
so
anything.
funny.
I still
That was so funny.
It very well could not. I have no idea. This is going off of what somebody else said.
You're
Was
such
he
a
cool?
piece-
Yeah, I mean, we were just it was just ball game banter. You know, you start talking to the people.
He
that
actually
sit around
probably
you.
you're probably friends with him now because you like that's what someone that famous and that talented is looking for is ball game banter, not hey Eddie Vedder.
Yeah, I will say nobody came up to him to ask for a picture, so maybe what?
All right, describe him.
Probably not
Describe
Eddie
what he
Vedder.
looked like.
I looked up a picture that it did kind of look like one of the guys that was behind us.
Okay,
I don't know what else to say.
What was Mook basing it off of?
I have no idea. Mook texted me after the game. Was like, I think that was Eddie Vedder that was sitting behind
Oh, so we're
us.
going okay. All right.
But I don't know because I would in a million years I would have never guessed what he looked like.
Okay.
Either way, it was just chill.
Yeah, it was just chill. Just fake Eddie
just
Vedder,
another guy.
real Eddie Vedder. All right, my who's back of the week is Bill Belichick.
Why?
He,
Can I go to the bathroom now?
he's
Nope.
got. You can if you want. He's got a new book out, and he was on CBS Good Morning America. What is it?
Yeah, the softball series.
What is it?
Just lighthearted.
Yeah.
CBS Morning Time.
And he did an interview. It was very funny, curmudgeon-y Bill Belichick.
The shirt he was wearing was
So funny.
Incredible shirt. He knew he was going to be doing an interview for television.
Yeah.
And his shirt, I feel like it's been in like a cardboard box with a family of moths for about 25 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, he looked good. He pulled it off.
Yeah. And then his girlfriend, who we love,
Yeah.
Jordan
Philosopher.
Hudson, she's a delight. We have nothing but positive things to say about her.
Coworker, friend, lover.
Right. She's
spiritual
the
guide.
best. Might have interrupted the interview and was like, we're not talking about that when asked how they met.
Well, we already know how they met. They met on an airplane.
On an airplane.
They discussed philosophy.
Yeah. And then there's theories that CBS left that in because that wasn't the only time she had interrupted. But we don't buy that theory. It's bullshit.
Yeah, listen.
Do we all agree? It's bullshit?
It's bullshit. I think that they're making Coach look bad because they know that this will be interpreted in a certain kind of way. The real deal is, and we're going to talk to Schrager about this in a little bit, but she is a smart cookie.
Yeah.
And
Very smart.
And this moment was all over the internet promoting his book today.
Yeah.
He's going to sell a ton of books because of the way that she comported herself during this interview. So
She's an incredible marketer.
she is I think she's the brains in that relationship.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, that's a catch for Bill Belichick.
Yeah, and also they were trying to ask him some gotcha questions like what about this picture of you guys doing yoga on the beach?
Right.
Like it wasn't a normal picture that they were taking. It just felt designed to make Bill and his lovely girlfriend Jordan
Right.
look like there was something wrong with them. When maybe the problem is with us.
Right.
For being so cold-hearted that we can't appreciate a healthy relationship.
And people are like, "Oh, he's whipped or something." No, it's not. That's a healthy relationship. They're both very highly successful people in a relationship together. Love is love,
independently successful.
and everyone leave it alone. Hank, what are your thoughts on how PFT and I just handled that in trying to get Belichick on PMT in the future? Did we do a better job?
Yeah.
Okay, good. What did you think, Hank? Have you watched it?
I watched the interruption clip and then I saw the 8-minute interview and I started to watch it and I got like 10 seconds in. I was like, I can't do this.
Here's what I'll say, Jordan. If you can land us Bill Belichick on PMT, you can interrupt as many times as you want. And we will cut or not cut, whatever you want. You could just sit here. You could be on the pod. We're a pro girlfriend podcast.
That's a
we're
fact.
pro Bill Belichick's girlfriend podcast.
That's a fact.
Whatever that looks like.
I just
that was a crazy clip.
I got the
crazy
vi-
clip.
I got the
But
vibe
we
that-
have to say this because we want to get Belichick.
I got the vibe that Bill didn't really want to be doing an interview.
I would say I got the vibe Jordan didn't want to do the interview either.
I get the vibe
whose
that
idea
I don't
was
think
this?
Belichick knows he's on social media.
Yeah.
I would say so. I'd say that's
His reaction to that clip was like, "How'd you get this picture?"
Yeah.
It looks
Wait,
like-
what are you talking about? The yoga? That was private.
It looks like the CBS guy just like broke into his house, set up a camera, and surprised him in the kitchen. Like, Bill, we're going to talk now.
Oh man. So yeah, we're pro Jordan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I thought-
You think that went well, Hank? We'll just make the clip of us just saying the good part and leave out the part where we say we just have said all this because we want to get Belichick on, and pretty much it's been clear that you have to say nice things about his girlfriend to get him on.
I will not.
So leave that out and then put in the other stuff.
We will not ask how you guys met. That question that's a gotcha question.
Yeah, we would not do a
Yep.
gotcha question.
Yep, that's gotcha.
Gotcha question journalism. That's fucked up. We would not do that. To ask someone how he met his significant other is just too far in my book.
I agree. Some things should be private. Like you might. Why don't
No
you?
yoga and no questions about anything that you post publicly to your millions of followers on Instagram.
Why don't you just ask him a question about Spygate while you're at it,
Yeah.
or about Aaron Hernandez?
I bet you
that's
that
that's the
fucking-
exact same type of question as saying, "How did you guys meet?"
That fake news fucking reporter probably went into this interview and was like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get him with this fucking picture that he doesn't even know exists that's out there on the internet that got retweeted and posted 1 billion times.
Tell me about this fun
Gotcha.
picture. I feel bad for the reporter a little bit.
I
'cause-
feel bad for Bill Belichick.
Do you? I think Bill's having fun. I think Bill's doing just fine.
Just don't clip that part.
Bill's doing great.
Is it?
How do conservatorship?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is this a Britney
feels like
Spears
reverse.
situation?
It feels like reverse.
It might be. No, it's not reverse. It's what's happening. Like you
think
get
the older person with the younger person.
Well, no, I'm saying like you get a little older and you can't take care of yourself, and then someone comes and takes care of you, and then also takes everything.
Has Bill? He hasn't updated his will, has he?
I hope not.
Keep an eye on that.
I think we're gonna get him. I think we're gonna get him on PMT, guys. I think we did a good job.
Did we do a good job, Max?
This is up to
You
Hank.
love love.
I
You-
mean, I
you
do
love love more
I
than
do
anybody.
You
on the
love love.
podcast.
I love
this
love.
podcast loves love.
I think I want to say that if Bill is, if he's happy, if he's having mind blowing sex and he's doing great and loves college life, good for him.
Good for
Far
him.
be it from me to
Good
judge.
for him.
Far be it from me.
If he found his soulmate, good for him.
Good for him.
Hank.
I love love.
Yes.
Yep. But you're not in love with love.
But maybe there's a world where we can still get him on.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't an issue. That's all I'm saying. And
Yeah.
that would be great.
Well, you know what? Maybe we could all laugh about it, how ridiculous this whole thing is, and it's like, who cares? You could date whoever you want to date. The CBS fake news. Yeah, we're going to make a couple jokes, but the best way to know that it doesn't bother you, Jordan, is to let Bill Belichick come on the show.
Yeah.
And then it's like, you're not controlling anything. Because we made a couple jokes here and there. Love.
Love.
That's really what it all comes down to, is we love love on this show. No matter how it looks, how it sounds, how many times you interrupt an interview, we love love.
Well, that's where it gets tricky is that, she's also responsible for a lot of his social media stuff.
Correct.
So she has to be in the room. It's
Correct.
literally her job to be in the room.
Yeah.
So what do you want her? You don't think that women can have jobs? Is that what you're saying?
Here's the
that
problem.
she shouldn't be allowed in the room?
Here's the problem. A lot of people in today's day and age don't respect a strong, powerful woman. That's the problem here. They think they see a strong, powerful woman and they just start throwing around the B word or the C word, and that's bullshit.
You see her doing her job, making sure that hot button issues aren't brought up on what should be a fluffy interview. And your thought is automatically, why isn't she just making him a sandwich in the kitchen?
Yeah.
I think that's fucked up. I think she's doing her job, and she's doing it exceedingly well.
Correct. Women can be bosses too. So if you don't love love, then you're a misogynist and you also hate love. Hank, how are we doing? Are we falling apart?
I think we absolutely nailed this.
Things got to be said. I don't know what to say. I don't know. I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Put that on a quote card. Things got to be said. I don't know what to say.
Wait, which things have to be said?
Just things. Things do have to be said.
Have we said any of the things that have to be said?
Like, we're not getting Belichick on the podcast.
We said great things about Jordan in this.
I said I love.
I said this
that's what I'm
girls can
saying.
be bosses.
That's it. This is exactly what I'm saying. Like, it is what it is. Things have to be said.
Right.
Answer me this, Hank. What was the goal of this interview?
Of the Belichick interview?
Yes.
To promote his new book.
Did the book get promoted?
Yep.
Did she do a great job?
I haven't seen a lot of online discourse about the book.
Well, it's promoting the book. I've seen some.
Really?
Yeah. In an interview for Bill Belichick's new book, his young girlfriend interrupted several times. But they've got the part about the book in there.
His young girlfriend interrupted. His young girlfriend, who is age appropriate, interrupted several times, but really she was just interrupting with her love. Sorry for her love.
They can't stand to be apart.
We fucking crushed this.
Yeah.
We're going to get him on.
I love Bill.
All right, send this straight to her. All right, let's do our
She's
interview
already heard it.
with Peter Schrager, and then we got Stavros in studio, which was very, very funny. So let's get to it.
Before we get to Pete Schrager, he's brought to you by our great friends over at Game Time. NBA playoffs are here. The only place to buy hard to get playoff tickets is Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports, with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying NBA playoff tickets. Prices on the app go down the closer it gets to tip-off. You can save up to 60% when buying last-minute tickets. And if you're looking at those tickets for Game 5 with the Celtics, Hank, what are we looking at on Game Time?
On the Game Time app right now, you can get into Game 5 of the Celtics game for as little as $123.
$123 to get in. Game 5, close it out. It's going to be a great environment. Close it out, move it on, survive in advance. Go see some closeout basketball. Go see some playoff basketball. The series are great, and if you're looking for deals on great seats, check out Game Time. What are you waiting for? Take the guesswork out of buying NBA playoff tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code PMT, get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PMT for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it? Game time. Pete Schrager is also brought to you by our good friends over at Chevy. For over a century, Chevy has been building trucks that don't flinch and never quit. Whether you're hauling lumber on the job or trying to get the smoker, the cooler, the cornhole boards, and the whole crew to the tailgate on time, Chevy gets you there. When Chevy says most dependable truck, they're not just speculating. Chevy trucks have earned more dependability awards for trucks than any other brand according to J.D. Power 2025. Sounds like they've got the stats to prove it. Draft yours at Chevy.com. In every Chevy truck, dependability comes standard. For more information on Chevy trucks, visit Chevy.com and visit jdpower.com/awards for more award details. And now here's Pete Schrager.
Okay, we now welcome on our very good friend, recurring guest. He's now part of ESPN. Congratulations on that. It's Peter Schrager. He was at the draft. He's fresh home from Green Bay. So we wanted to have you on to basically get you to dump your brain to us on what occurred the last 3 days. And I think we should start, obviously, with the biggest story, Shedeur Sanders. I heard your take earlier in the week. I thought it was pretty apt, and it then turned out to be true. But what did you hear, and what exactly occurred? Because I think, from my perspective, I didn't think he was going to be a first-rounder. I knew that going in. I thought he was going to go in the second. Then when it went, Dylan Gabriel and Jalen Milroe, I think everyone's like, what the hell is going on? So what happened, and what's kind of the takeaway from the whole thing?
All right. So what I said on Simmons' podcast last week was that I don't think he's going to go in the first round, and yet you're not going to hear that being vocalized. Like, it's just not worth it. The juice is not worth the squeeze. And what I meant was, look, we don't know that, so it's safer to put any quarterback in the first round when they're being rumored as a first-round quarterback, even if you're hearing you don't have a team necessarily. And in the case of Shedeur, I think a lot of people were pulling for him to go in the first round in the media, and I'm not speaking on behalf of anybody else. I just know Deion has been an icon for all of us growing up. He's also been a colleague of many of the people in the media. He worked at NFL Network for 15 years. He also has been with CBS. He's worked with ESPN. He's got documentary on Amazon. He does stuff. He does his own show with Tubi. He does a lot of interviews. So it's like, what's the win?
Barstool Sports.
He does Barstool. Of course, he did the whole
thing. We're very
biased. No joke. I've totally forgot about that. The college stuff that you guys did with him. So it's like, you start thinking about it and you're like, all right, so he's a borderline first round pick. And I do a mock draft. I put him 21 to the Steelers. I do one mock draft. And you would have thought I had put him going in the 7th round, the response. And it wasn't from Dion, but the media started believing that, all right, he'll go somewhere in the first round. But my job is different than Louis Riddick or Mel Kiper or Daniel Jeremiah. My job is to get on the phones and get things from the teams. And I did not have a single team who was like, if Shedeur falls to us, we're taking him.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I went through the different teams that needed quarterbacks. I put him to the Steelers on a hope and a prayer. And I went on Get Up on Thursday morning and said, guys, I literally put a blindfold on and pointed to the Steelers and said, if any coach can unilaterally say, like, he's my guy, I'm taking him, it's Tomlin. They needed a quarterback. And I know his meeting went really well with them 2 weeks ago. Like, I know it. He went there Friday. He was there for 5 hours. They loved him. And Arthur Smith liked him. Tomlin liked him. So I'm like, it makes sense. But in the same breath on that episode of Get Up, guys, I was like, or he's not getting drafted in the first round.
Right.
And then it starts. Now, that's all good. I never thought he would slip to day 3. But in the aftermath of it, you start doing it out and you're like, all right, if a guy comes in and he's like every interview saying, I'm going to change your franchise, I'm going to change your culture, and I've got all this stuff that comes with it. As a starter, like, yeah, let's go. But like now you're talking about backup. It's almost less easy to find a spot to be a backup than it is to be a starter.
Right.
And my last thing on Shedeur, and we can get into all the aftermath of the prank call and everything, was such an unorthodox, untraditional, unprecedented prospect in the fact that he played for his dad in high school, played for his dad at Jackson State, played for his dad at Colorado. It was, you go up to Boulder, everyone tells you like Dion has that thing dialed in, but it's unlike any other program. Bruce Feldman had a quote where he was explaining, like, you go in there, Dion just runs it all, and who could talk to the kid, who could talk to this one. And like, it's a party, but it's also a very unorthodox situation up there with how Dion was running it. Then he accepts an invite to the East-West Shrine game, and then the NFL sends out a memo. It's like you have to practice and decides not to practice or play in the game, goes to the combine, interviews with teams, and then doesn't work out, which a lot of people have not done, but doesn't do it. And also declined an opportunity to go to the Senior Bowl, declined the Big 12 workout. So you have this unorthodox prospect, and you wouldn't do all that stuff unless you're a first-round pick. Like Caleb Williams can do that stuff, or Andrew Luck can do that stuff. Yeah, if you're not a surefire top pick, usually you want to throw and you want to work out and you want to do all this stuff. So it was just an unorthodox thing, but I don't think anyone saw it sliding down to the 5th round. And when he finally was drafted, I think it was a relief for everyone because A, it sucks for the kid. B, it sucks for all the people who are watching it. And C, it sucked for the media who all said to the viewers that he was going to be a first-round pick.
Yeah. I don't feel bad for the media.
Yeah, well, I don't feel bad for the media at all because he was the best thing for the media because the ratings were huge on Saturday.
Yeah.
Like everybody was watching the draft to see where he was going to go. And usually it's funny, like having a quarterback that's a coach's son, that's usually a check mark in like the good column for people. Not all coaches are Dion, obviously, and things get run a little bit differently, like you said. So there was a report that the interview with the Giants went really, really poorly. I don't know if you talked to anybody on the Giants. I don't know how an interview can go that bad because it made it seem like the interview from hell. Like you walked in, double birds, DX'd, walked out. Like how did that interview go?
So I've heard that multiple places, and I was listening to Russillo and McShay last night on McShay's podcast. I got back from the draft, and I'm like, I need to like unwind. So what am I going to do? I'm going to listen to more draft talk, and they were recapping it all. And I heard Todd listing out what he heard, and then that was secondhand. And I think a lot of people said they heard that story too. I talk to the Giants daily, and I'll tell you, I have not heard that. What I have heard is that they love Jackson Dart since January. So like this thing, like Dable, like that was his guy. So he loved Neighbors last year in the draft and was basically like, that's my guy. And as much as Joe Shane and the staff was with Shedeur and all that stuff, like Dable's dude was Dart. I did not hear anything of an altercation, and I don't know if it was with Dion or Shedeur, but as someone who's covering it objectively, and I'm not saying there wasn't something because everyone's got different sources, but my contact with the Giants, my conversation with the Giants, that was no such thing. And they actually liked Shedeur a lot. It just wasn't even a debate. It was Shedeur or Dart, and it was Dart from pretty much January in Dable's eyes.
Yeah, it's kind of a crazy story just because I think if he's a good quarterback, not a great quarterback. If he was a great quarterback, everyone would put up with whatever comes with it. And it's very funny because the media was complicit in building him up, and then when it's wrong, you could see the media complicit in tearing him down, where like I think I saw it, maybe it was NFL Network, they were like, oh, the RICO case just came out on Shedeur, and it was like a 4-minute segment about how awful he was in every interview, and this all comes out, after Friday, where everyone's trying to cover their ass, being like, well, this is why we had him as a first rounder, and he's not going in the first round. So the whole thing becomes like a clusterfuck,
Yeah, and I will say this, Tom Pelissero, who's a very good reporter there in NFL Network, came out with his annual column where here's 12,000 words on everything. And he had the anonymous quote on Wednesday or Tuesday where it was like, it was the worst formal interview I've ever seen. It was anonymous. And everyone's reaction was, F this anonymous scout, and why would Tom post this? And then afterwards it was like, oh, well, they tried sullying, and bringing him down. But I don't know if Tom's report was then justified because he went in the 5th round, or if you really think like Tom's report was so damaging to Shedeur that I assure you this, a team was not planning on drafting Shedeur Sanders in the 1st round and then read a Tom Pelissero column on NFL.com and said, now, wait a second. If a random assistant coach who doesn't have his name on this says that it was a bad interview, well, then we can't take him. So I understand where people get very sensitive about that stuff. Tom, it was on his decision to post, to actually use it, not use it. He did. He went for it. And then the guy went in the 5th round, and a lot of people said it was because of the interviews.
And what you said at the beginning is exactly, I think, what happened is that, listen, we're friends with Dion. I think there's a lot of people who are friends with Dion. If Shedeur goes in the 1st round and you were someone who was like, he's not a 1st-round quarterback, the backlash is gonna be strong. So it's easier to just be like, I think he might be a 1st-round quarterback. We do that too. My hand is up. I'm biased, so that plays into it.
My first week at ESPN was April, and I walked into Get Up, and the topics on Get Up, which is their morning show, in the production meeting is like, should Shedeur go 2nd to the Browns or 3rd to the Giants? And I'm like, all right. I'm like, this is my new job, and these people are awesome. And I am trying to, and like, I kind of go for it. And I'm like, guys, I don't think he necessarily goes in the top 20. And they're like, well, he'll certainly go at least to the Saints, or he'll go. And I'm like, guys, and then Greenberg's looking at me like, really? And I'm like, yeah, and this is April 1st. I'm like, I don't know. I don't have a team. And I didn't have a team the following week. And I didn't have a team the following week. And then eventually I'm like, I think Jackson Dart might go before him. And then it was like, what? So it's this awkward thing where you're like, the rest of the media wasn't going with it just quite yet. And I'm sure there were others. I think McShay was early on it. Like this is not going the same way. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And but it's not comfortable because we don't want to be negative. But when you see everyone else in the consensus saying, oh, he's a 2nd quarterback off the board, if Cam Ward is the 1st, like you start questioning your sources. But I have sources in 32 buildings, and I did not have a 1st-round team for Shedeur. I didn't up until the draft.
I also think that even if the interviews went really, really poorly, like if Dion was there sitting behind him the whole time, like Belichick's girlfriend being like, we're not answering that question. If Shedeur was good enough, a team would have taken him in the 1st or 2nd round.
Right. The talent is, I mean, you see it all the time. There's character concerns with a lot of guys who get picked, and it's just like, it doesn't matter.
No doubt. And I almost think it's not like, the big question is, did Dion cause him to slide? No, Dion did not cause him to slide. If you draft him, you're drafting a player that if he's your starting quarterback, like you said, and you're going all in, but as a backup, it's a totally different conversation. So I don't think he didn't have the electric speed or the huge arm or the wins or anything to necessarily be a 1st-round pick. And then once you're not a 1st-round pick, then it's like, wait, but there's all that comes with it. Is he definitely dedicated to being a backup? Because you never want to get into that thing, but it's like, I remember covering when the Eagles brought in Tebow as like the third string, and it couldn't last because cameras, whether it's Tebow's fault or not, cameras weren't dealing with Sam Bradford and Mark Sanchez. It was like, let's go right to Tebow. It's just an uncomfortable situation. I don't think it'll be the case in Cleveland. Maybe it will, but like it's an easier spot to draft someone with that celebrity at first round. I will say this about Belichick's interview. Did you guys watch it?
Yeah, I just saw the clip.
Yeah, I thought that was just a regular girlfriend.
Yeah, like people's girlfriends do that all the time.
They're always involved in stuff.
I work in television. You guys work in media. CBS Sunday Morning is the nicest, most pleasant. This is not 60 Minutes.
Right.
This is not real. This is not real sports.
It's bullshit. They left it in.
I would say the opposite.
No,
so
listen.
my thought is this.
I think you hate love.
Yeah.
No.
We
My thought
love
is this.
Jordan on this show.
I'm a romantic.
Yeah.
Peter.
If that's the version that CBS Sunday Morning did while they're promoting a book for him, what was left on the cutting room floor?
Oh, that's really negative of you, Peter.
And also, Peter, you're getting Belichick way. He's having his Belichick way with you because what's he doing? He's promoting a book, right?
Yeah.
That clip got so many more impressions.
It did.
So much more recognition for his book.
So smart.
He's going to sell a shitload of
Jordan's
books.
so smart.
Yeah.
He's
I would
so
say
smart.
that interviewer, Tony from CBS, that was as hard hitting or as like straight on and direct an interview I've ever seen with like everyone in NFL media where I'm at. It's always like timidly going around Belichick, and then you laugh at like his snap face thing, even though you don't really think it's funny. This guy's just like, so let's talk about Jordan. I'm like, hell yeah, good journalism. Here we go.
All right, so Peter, back to the draft.
Sorry.
We always are laugh at the draft grades. You don't know. Everyone loves their draft class. Everyone thinks they did a great job. Is there, though, a team or two that you can point to and be like, they really, like, what they were able to do filled a lot of holes, and they're going to, be able to build off this?
The Giants have had the roughest reputational year that a team could imagine with what happened. And it was Saquon, it was Hard Knocks. It was also Xavier McKinney going on to have about 10 picks and being the best safety in football. And in the matter of 3 days, Joe Shane and Brian Daboll have completely changed the conversation around this team where like every Giants fan is like back on board. And they're like, let's go. And they did it by getting maybe the best player in this draft in Carter, trading back up and smartly trading back up to where they had to get 24, where if you had done it at 16, you might have had to give up too much. Like they played the game of chicken perfectly with whoever else might have traded up. And then to get Scattaboo and Marcus Bowe and to get Alexander, like every single position of need that they had, they checked the box. And I'm telling you, reputationally, it's the first ray of light since that Hard Knock stuff aired last summer. And Joe Shane has been a punchline in a lot of places. I think today, like Giants fans, and we're doing this Sunday night, are like, you know what? Shane did a pretty good job. Now, look, they could go 3-14 and that's that. And we laugh about this, but like at the very least, they got impact players at better values than anyone expected.
Yeah, and I think the Giants, like the strategy of like before you can be good at everything, you got to be great at one thing, and they're going to be very, very difficult to block up front. Like that defensive line is going to be a problem, and it's like if you can build off one great unit, you can start playing competitive football. What other team would you say?
I actually think the 49ers did a really nice job getting back to their basics. This is a team that always prided themselves on defensive line. And over the years, because of attrition, they've lost Armstead. Bosa wasn't what he was last year as he was in recent years. And then they were just like, we're going to beef up on defensive line. They get, Williams in the, 11th pick, but then they add another defensive lineman. They add another defensive lineman. And then if you know that defense, it's like Chris Kasarik is their defensive line coach. He's the one who's always barking. And it's like, that is where it all starts for them. So I don't know if any of these guys are going to go on to be all pros, but at the very least, Saleh and Kasarik, like they can get back to basics. They've got this fleet of defensive linemen that they can put around Nick Bosa. And then their last pick, they got this kid, Nathan Rourke, the quarterback, who is, whatever. He's a story that if you followed it during the combine, it's one of these long shot stories. Like, he won't play this year, but like that's a guy that I trust. Kyle Shanahan took a guy in the late rounds at quarterback. I would bank on that other than more than any other coach in the NFL. So they must have seen something in him.
Yeah. Is there a certain pick that you absolutely loved? Maybe a guy that fell further than you thought they would, and it's great value? What's your steal of the draft?
It's a great question. I think, I'm not trying to butter up the guy that we're sitting here with, but like I was the biggest Colston Loveland fan in the entire NFL draft process. And I thought he might have gone 7 to the Jets, might have gone 8 to the Panthers. Everyone thought it was a reach that he went before Warren. I spoke with Bears people the night of the draft, and they were like, it's not like we had Loveland like 1 and then a huge gap in 2. It's like it was 1 and 1A, and we didn't know if either one of them would be there. And then at the end of the day, they're like, what we do is speed, and what we need in this offense, this is the guy. He's 6'6", guys. Yeah. Like he is, and he's awesome. 2 years ago when they actually had a quarterback and JJ McCarthy was throwing, like he was all over the field. Last year he was injured, and then there was no quarterback play. The fact he goes before Warren raised a lot of eyes, but like I find it impossible with the hiring of Ben Johnson, with a new offensive line, with bringing in Joe Thuney, with then bringing in this kid, and then also having Luther, Burden on the outside, who, if you saw Ben Johnson's press conference, he was Jamison Williams' high school teammate. And Jamo was like to Ben Johnson, like, oh, this guy's just like me. He's a dog. He's a nut. He's nuts. He's going to be the leader in the locker room. So they have all these new weapons. And like, I think Colston Loveland, I don't know if he's a fantasy guy or not, but I think he makes this Bears offense even scarier. So Dan, I give you credit. This is a good one.
What about a late round pick? Somebody that was taken 5th round or later that you expect to do better than you might.
Yeah. I can give you like a random skill position player and be like, I love the pick of this guy. I was shocked that Quinn Ewers went as late as he went to the Dolphins. Mm-hmm. And like, I don't know if because you got Zach Wilson as the backup and you got Tua as the starter, but to get him in the 7th round, like that was straight up bizarre. But the kid that so I'm obviously tied in with the Rams, and I know those guys really well. And the kid that they were talking about for like days and days with me, and I know they had a Zoom with him the day before, or the Wednesday before, was the running back out of Auburn, Jarquez Hunter is his name. And he's one of these guys that like McVay fell in love with. Les Snead went to Auburn. He's an Auburn guy, and he's not going to replace Karen Williams, but this is the battering ram that goes with Karen Williams. And like, when I tell you, they acted as if they had gotten a 1st round pick on day 3 when they got this guy. So just knowing my connection to the Rams, I would assure you that Jarquez Hunter is going to play a role, and he's a 4th round pick. Mm-hmm. And they were literally doing flips over adding him as a running back to this team.
That sounds like a guy I'm going to pick up in fantasy after he scores 3 touchdowns and then never score again.
Yeah. Like he gets a fill in. Yeah. Week 2, like Williams has a sprained ankle. He gets 3 goal line carries, converts all of them. And then, he doesn't. He has the alarm clock issue like Gray did for the Patriots and nothing else.
No, great.
So, he sounds like a very interesting pick. I want to talk real quick about your new colleague, Mel Kiper, just to make sure he's okay.
Yeah.
Is he? Is Mel okay? Because he looked like he was going to cry a little bit. He said that the NFL has been clueless for 50 years when it comes to evaluating quarterbacks. First of all, is he doing okay?
He is. I first time I ever worked with Mel Kiper. I had met him before briefly, and like obviously grew up watching him. And we don't do the same thing. I'm like always the one who's like, here's what an NFL team told me, and he's like, here's what I think of a player. I don't think, and for the amazing luck of him, I don't think Mel lives online or on Twitter. I don't think he saw any of this.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't have done interaction.
Yeah, you wouldn't have kept doing it if you had seen any of it.
And I actually think it's really compelling content, as much as you guys want to throw a shoe at me. Like it felt like the one thing the internet all agreed on was that like he was in the wrong, but I'm sitting there on the broadcast and I'm at the edge of my seat and I'm like, this guy's really passionate about this. And I actually love that, because I worked with Daniel Jeremiah for years. I think he's the best and the best guy. And you guys know he's amazing. And I've this year working with Mel and with Field Yates and like Louis Riddick, and these guys do the work. Those guys, I've never seen them actually be upset about a draft pick. It's usually, here's what this guy brings. Here's what this guy does. I'll tell you about his game against Ohio State 2 years ago, and hear this guy's story when he went to Iowa and had to transfer. And they're amazing at it. And Field Yates is like an encyclopedia. I worked with him this week. I'm like, this guy's amazing. Mel Kiper is passionate and defensive of the players, and I think that's a dying breed. So to me, is he okay? I think he's fine. I actually think it actually brought a lot to the broadcast. Now, whether you thought they focused too much on it, that's another question. But I love the fact that he was actually passionate. And if you think he was wrong, that's a different story. But gosh, that added a lot more entertainment value than just hearing, all right, here's what I like about this 6th round pick. Here's what I love about this 7th round pick. They all can't be superstars. And yet you listen to most of us in the draft thing. We're like, this guy's great. This guy's great. This guy's great. Mel Kiper's like, what about Shedeur?
I mean, you're right. But I should give some context to the listeners. Schrager is a stoolie. He's a Barstool fan. And one of his favorite people to watch is when Frank the Tank watches Mets games. Schrager will text me live updates. So similar to Frank the Tank watching the Mets game, that's what Mel Kiper was doing. He was having a complete meltdown live on air, and I agree. It was compelling. I was glued to it. I know a lot of people were glued to it, so credit to Mel. I don't know if he did that on purpose, but I was very entertained.
I'll add this. I think he's so in the film and so into his evaluations that I don't think he's considering the fact that Shedeur has a crew filming him, and that might rub some people wrong, or that Shedeur at an interview, that stuff doesn't. He's a film guy, so whether it's, and he's like, I have watched every snap of Shedeur Sanders' career. This guy is amazing. This guy is awesome. So the fact that he was outraged by it, and you saw him listing off the quarterbacks, I freaking loved it. And I hope he brings that passion back next year. And I know I sound like I would have said that if I was at NFL Network. I would have said that if I'm Peter Schrager, an accountant, Peter Schrager working in a law office somewhere, or Peter Schrager, a garbage man. I love that. I thought it was entertaining. And if we don't have that, it's all right. A lot of us sanctimonious, okay, well, what's going on with Shedeur? Well, I want to, that Mel brought the fire. I loved it.
He did.
Yeah, we don't want to see guys reading names off a spreadsheet. You're right. And if you're right or if you're wrong, it made it interesting.
Absolutely.
And you're right. The good comparison would be Frank the Tank.
Yeah.
It's another team that's going to regret passing on Shedeur.
If he had glasses, he would have eaten them.
Yeah, he would have. I think he did have glasses.
He did have glasses. He should have eaten them.
Yeah, someone should check up on that.
Peter, I know we're not critical of teams as much, or at least you don't have a lot of relationships, but what was the draft where you're like, that was kind of weird? I don't really understand their strategy.
All right. So if you talk to me whatever and said the Jaguars are going to trade up to 2 and the Browns are going to trade down to 5, I'm not piling on the Browns at all. They collected all these picks. What's crazy is if you look at the entire Jaguars draft class, you say, okay, they got Travis Hunter and they sacrificed and they gave up a draft pick, and that's fine. If you look at the entire Browns draft class, they absolutely crushed it. The only oddity is the 2 quarterbacks. So that steals the headlines. And everyone's like, well, the Browns, what are they thinking? They got Dylan Gabriel, then 2 rounds later, they draft Shedeur. But they added starters at every position, and they picked up a 1st-round pick. So I think the head scratcher, of course, is the 2 quarterbacks. But talking to them yesterday in real time and then this morning, it's at 144, and it's the quarterback position and the value. It's the most important position. All right, we'll take them. But if you just ignore the shock and awe of drafting 2 quarterbacks in, rounds like that, they actually did really well. So to me, my answer is not dodging a bullet. It's just I think a lot of people scratch their heads at why would you take another quarterback? But the truth of the matter is, it's kind of a luxury pick. They already did clean up and get a lot of important players.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree that if you don't have a quarterback, why not just draft a bunch of quarterbacks?
Yeah.
And see if one pans out.
Your team did it. You had RG3,
right,
and then in the 4th round, you took Cousins.
It worked out great
RG3
for us.
RG3 was great the first year, and then Cousins was great for the next couple,
Yeah, and with the Vikings, yeah. But you're right. I do see the logic behind it, especially if you don't have one. Speaking of Kirk, he was a name that was tossed around a little bit before the draft. Is he going to be traded? Is some team going to make a move, trading some picks over? No move happened. Were there actual calls going out? Was that a possibility leading up to the draft?
there wasn't any real trades. There was a Sam Howell trade which Schefter broke, but like there wasn't any of those trades. And we had a whole list of names that were going to be traded. I don't think the Steelers are going to make any moves for a bit until they have clarity on Rodgers, obviously. I would imagine if Rodgers says no, they might be a team that might be in the Kirk Cousins sweepstakes. But I can't imagine the Falcons week one paying Kirk Cousins that salary and having Michael Penix be the starter. I just don't know where he goes and when. But like, if you're the Falcons, you can't have that guy with that salary, as much as they say it. Mm-hmm. And this is just me talking. I know the NFL well enough where like that guy can't be on the right. He's a great teammate and the whole thing, and he showed up to spring camp, but you can't be paying him that number to be a backup.
Yeah, I would agree with that. There was a report that came out earlier today that Roger Goodell says that he wants 16 international games a year soon. Have you heard anything about that? And have you communicated to Roger Goodell that we do not want the Super Bowl in London?
Okay, so let's go through that. So I think it's not going to all be at once. They're going to build, but they've already established UK can do it. They established Germany can do it. They established Brazil can do it. What he said, which was wild, is he's like, we're thinking about going to Asia. And now I'm like, okay. And what they do is they show up in the city, and then it's like it's a 2-week event, and there's flag football, there's all these things, like it's almost like a traveling road show. I do think he means it, and that was a real report, and he said it, that 16 games is not off the table, and that they figure it out scheduling wise. And as for London, I can't imagine there's going to be a Super Bowl there, but guess what? If they have 16 games internationally and London becomes a market where there's multiple games a year, it's certainly going to be in the conversation, especially with the popularity in the stadiums. And right now, I don't see it happening in the next 2 to 3, 4 Super Bowl assignments, but it could happen. Absolutely. I didn't think there would ever be more than 3 international games. They're talking about a full schedule now. And here's what's interesting with that. I worked on Fox's pregame show for years. And it was like, we'd have crazy ratings at our little kickoff show, which was before the big one. Now it's from 11 to 12 Eastern. But when they would have these international games, nobody watched. You'd rather watch any game than a pregame show talking about the other games. So you'd go over to ESPN or NFL Network, wherever it was, and those games start at 9:30 Eastern. It's usually in the fourth quarter when the pregame shows are going on. If you have 16 games, my question is, does that single-handedly cripple the idea of a Sunday pregame show? Like, wouldn't you? I feel like most fans would, even if it's Jaguars, Titans, or it's Saints, Bucks, like most fans, you watch the game over hearing what the guys have to say about the games coming up. So I wonder about the time windows, because if you do a 16-game international schedule, the thought process would be, that's another package you can sell. You could sell that to Netflix. Hey, here's a full season. You could sell it to Amazon, and it's the 9:30 a.m. early window, Eastern. And then it goes games at 9:30 to 1, games from 1 to 4, and then games from 4 to 7, and then your game at 7, and it's just all day. And it's kind of cool, but I'm a sentimental guy. I would hope to think that those pregame shows still exist, even if there's games in that window.
Well, what happens if it's in Asia with the time zones? Because that's the other way around, right? So if you're talking about like Hong Kong, that's exactly 12 hours off where we are right now.
They'd have to figure it out.
You play like a Monday morning game and have it broadcast Monday night in America? I don't know.
Yeah, they'd figure it out. I'm sure they're not going to just drop it into whatever time slot. They'd figure it out and we'd work around it. But there's going to be 3 Christmas games moving forward. There were no Christmas games 2 years ago. Like it's what they do. And it's what they're going to be doing. And the schedule is coming out May 14th. I'm curious to see some of these windows, some of these games who gets the international. Like I'm a geek with this stuff. Like I think schedule release day is, I know we all roll our eyes and social media teams do it. Like I find the science behind the schedule, and I know the guys who are working on it, this guy Mike North, this other woman Charlotte Carey, like Ani Bose, these guys, once the season ends, this is their full-time job. They are working on every permutation to make sense so that no team feels screwed, but also you get the most maximum eyeballs when possible. So as little as like, does Travis Hunter give the Jaguars more than one primetime game? Like, I love that shit. So that's going to be May 14th, and that's really the next milestone. But the international games, we're going to find out when, where, who, and like the matchups coming up.
Well, Aaron Rodgers is holding that up. We were talking to Matt LaFleur last week. He did not know when the Packers would be playing, that they might play in Ireland against the Steelers. But we think that the NFL is waiting to schedule that game until they know who the quarterback of the Steelers is going to be. So when are we going to find out? I don't know if Aaron Rodgers has like talked to anybody about what he's doing besides what we've heard on McAfee, where he does like 20 minutes and doesn't really say anything.
Yeah.
But it has to happen soon, right?
Well, I'll tell you this. He did his tour and spoke with the Giants, spoke with the Steelers. He told the Giants, said, "Hey, look, I'm going to be completely transparent with you. I have no timetable. I don't know when I'm going to know. And I don't know if I'm going to come back. And if that doesn't work with you, totally cool. Move on. No resentment here. I just have to be completely straight up and honest." And he and Dable got along really well. And Dable went back, and him and Shane were like, "We can't wait on him." They signed Jameis. They signed Russell Wilson. They drafted a quarterback. They're on their way. The Steelers' approach was the same exact thing. He had an awesome meeting with them. They hit it off. It was great. And they left it as like, okay. And they didn't sign another player. And they drafted Will Howard in the draft. And now it's Mason Rudolph and Will Howard. And they're waiting. But he was transparent with them all along. And I could tell you, as of Sunday night when we're recording this, he has not given them any word whether he's coming or not yet.
That's fascinating. All right, Schrags, I got one last question for you. It is the Roback question. RHOBACK.com, promo code TAKE, 20% off your first purchase, Q-Zips, polos, hoodies, joggers, shorts. Roback.com, promo code TAKE. So give us one more team where you talk to them and it's like, okay, I understand everyone's excited about their draft, but they really feel like they did it. Because I like getting excited for different teams. You're like, they filled. Like, I think the Cardinals did really well. Give me a team. Give me another team that you think.
You know who are okay, I'm gonna think about like a fired up coach that I can get. Okay, you know who? I'll tell you who's fired up, and I would have to even Google and you guys can maybe bring it up. I spoke with both guys in Minnesota today, and I know they were at the Timberwolves Lakers game, but like, the Minnesota Vikings were really fired up about their draft. And I can't even I think they took Donovan Jackson in the first round, an offensive lineman. Do you have the Minnesota draft class? I would love to go through it because I literally cannot recall who they got in other rounds, and yet both of them were like fired.
They got Ty Felton from Maryland.
Yeah, Donovan Jackson was their first. I mean, they've really done a good job with their offensive line in the offseason. Like, I feel that's what they
maybe
think
that's what it was.
But
if you're a Vikings fan, like, they didn't go timidly into this thing. They had their interest, what they wanted, and talking to Kwesi, talking to O'Connell, like, fired up, and like, we did very well this week.
They traded for Sam Howell, right?
Yeah, they did.
Sam Howell,
they got
so
Sam
it's a veteran
Howell.
quarterback. I don't think that's what's got them doing
flips,
I know, but it's nice to have.
It's nice to have someone, especially with the coach that they have with Kevin O'Connor.
No doubt. Tampa Bay was fired up. Tampa Bay spoke to those guys. They didn't think that they were going to get a chance to get a Buka there, and there he lies there at that end. And then let me give you a name of a guy that they were, and you could tell Stephen Shea this. They were fired up about. Hold on, I'll get you the name here.
Shedeur Sanders.
No. David Walker. Let's do a little David Walker deep dive here, folks.
Okay.
I don't know what position he plays. I don't know anything. I'm just checking the text here. David Walker, Buccaneers, and this is not embarrassing to me. This is what it is. Okay, 4th round outside linebacker, David Walker. All right, former. That's it. This is good radio and good podcasting. David Walker, that's the guy. Buccaneers fired up.
I like that. I need a name.
What about one undrafted free agent where you're like, oh, how did that guy not get picked?
Restrepo.
Yeah.
He lost a lot of Miami. I don't understand.
Would he run like a 5'2", 40?
Maybe, but like that guy, it's a classic case of like, I watch college football. That guy makes a play every single time they throw it to him. Cam Ward loves him, and he's going to the Titans. I love that. Watch, Restrepo is going to be like the number 3 receiver, and he'll have 60 catches, and he'll be a great NFL player. But like, how does he not get drafted? I don't get it. I know it's a slow 40, big deal. That guy made plays all season long and was the number 1 guy for that quarterback. So I'm a big Isaiah Restrepo fan.
I like that.
I would like to see that. Yeah, I want to see like a slow guy really succeed in the NFL at receiver. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, bring back slow guys. All right.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I said Isaiah Restrepo. It's Xavier Restrepo. Shut
That's
up,
fine.
Xavier. There you go.
We didn't
That's
correct
fine.
you in
Sorry.
real time, so that's partially
Sorry,
on us.
Xavier. Hopefully you guys knew. I was so intimidated listening to McShay and Russillo because they're watching it in real time and they know everything about it. Like I cover the NFL from a different angle. I don't watch a ton of college football, so I was like felt so emasculated listening to them being like, "Oh, Neil, the running back out of Kansas. Remember what he did?" I'm like, "That's a different world."
Yeah.
I do the draft. That's what I do. You know?
But the stories behind the draft you do very well, and we appreciate it. Sorry for keeping you up late. You have Get Up in the morning. Congrats on the new gig.
Tell Greeny I say hello, please.
Is there a relationship? Do you guys know each other?
We're just
or no?
great friends. We're just great friends.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Tell him PFT said hello.
Yeah.
Do that. I actually know you will do that.
PFT sends his regards.
Yeah.
I will do that. I'll tell
Maybe
you
blow a kiss
quick
too
story.
at the end.
Yeah.
We're driving over to the draft yesterday, Saturday morning, and I did say to Mel Kiper, I'm like, Mel, I don't know you that well. I'm like, every time you do an interview, it's like you bring the same energy and the same juice, even when it's like local, like Jacksonville, ESPN. Every time I hear you, like you always bring it. I'm like, you're so good. He goes, I love doing it. I feel like it's such an honor still, 42 years in. And I'm like, I vaguely remember you doing one with PMT. Like, I love those guys. Do you remember? And he goes, is that Big Cat? I go, yes, that's Big Cat. He goes, yeah, those guys are great. Those guys are great. Big Cat. I love Big Cat. And I'm like, all right, there you go. So he I don't know, what year was that?
He's
it was
a character,
recently,
yeah. No, because we asked him all the questions about the mashed potato on the pizza,
That was
pumpkin pie.
2017, I think, 2018.
It might have.
was
Yeah.
fun.
So that was the first thing he thought of, and he had it.
Well,
So
we'll
there you
invite
go.
him back on. We'll see how it goes after he listens to today's episode.
Well, I just hope he's okay.
Yeah, I hope he's okay.
And you're right. It did make for compelling television.
yeah,
It did.
was.
And I don't think he even knows that the internet even was commenting
which
on
I
it.
love.
Even better.
Afterwards, he took a car back to the hotel, and I saw him walking around the lobby, and I'm like, all right, he's fine.
Yeah, he's doing fine. All right, Shrakes, thank you so much. And we'll hopefully see you and talk to you maybe this summer when we get closer to training camp. Football's back.
It's back, dude. I want to get back on the bus. Let's
Yes,
go.
yes, let's do it. All right,
go.
thanks,
Thanks,
Shrakes.
guys.
Pete Schrager was brought to you by Aura Frames. The number one thing your mom wants from you is to call her. This Mother's Day, you can give her a call, of course, and get her an Aura digital picture frame. I got my mom an Aura digital picture frame for Christmas this year. It was super easy to set up. I uploaded all the pictures that I wanted from my phone right onto her frame. I still have access to it. So if I take a picture and I want that to be in my mom's living room, all I have to do is open up the app, upload it, and boom, it's automatically on there. It's a great gift. My mom loved it. Aura Frames was named the best digital photo frame by Wirecutter and featured in 495 gift guides last year. So the next time you need to call your mom, you can also send her a new pic of you from that trip that you're telling her all about, and you can do it right from your phone. Aura has a great deal for Mother's Day. For a limited time, listeners can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off plus free shipping on their best-selling Carver matte frame. That's auraframes.com, promo code PMT. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. You can get $35 off plus free shipping on their bestseller. Check it out right now, auraframes.com, promo code PMT. Part of My Take is sponsored by BetterHelp. Mental health awareness is growing, but there's still progress to be made. 26% of Americans who participated in a recent survey said they have avoided seeking mental health support due to fear of judgment. When people hesitate to get help, it doesn't just affect them. It impacts families, workplaces, and entire communities. This Mental Health Awareness Month lets encourage everyone to take care of their well-being and break the stigma. The world is better when people are healthy and happy. I've gone to therapy in the past. I would highly recommend it. If you're thinking about doing it, break that stigma, decide for yourself. Visit BetterHelp. They have over 10 years of experience matching people with the right therapist from their diverse network of more than 30,000 licensed therapists with a wide range of specialties. We're all better with help. Visit betterhelp.com/PMT. Get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/PMT. And now here's Stavvy.
Okay, we now welcome on a very special guest, good friend of the show, great friend of the show. It's Stavros Halkias. He is on tour. He's in Chicago, live in studio.
Hell yeah.
All the boys saw you last night at the Chicago Theater. So you're on a nationwide tour. When did you start the tour?
End of February.
And you have a bus, like a John Madden bus?
Bro, I'm on Madden mode. It's fucking awesome.
So how sick is that?
It's the best, dude. It's like you're living like the fanciest train car hobo of all time. Like it's just me and my boys, and like you guys. Eldis is my best friend. He's my producer on my podcast and my tour manager. So it's just like I brought my friend Straight George to be he's like the nutrition liaison.
Is that the gay guy?
He's actually straight.
Okay.
He appears gay. So that's where you make it really
Straight George.
He's
straight George. Yeah. But I brought my friend to be the nutritionist. His only qualification was he was really fat in college, and he's not fat anymore.
That's good enough.
Yeah, so
That's huge. Wait,
that
now
works.
what was the transition from really fat to skinny? Was it like overnight? Was it quick?
he just, I don't know, something snapped in his head. We were like freshman year, we met. We were both big boys. We both crushed. We both like bonded over. When you get an unlimited meal plan as a fat kid,
Yeah.
did that happen to you in Wisconsin?
Oh, yeah.
Because I was poor and fat as hell, so there were like monetary limits to how much I could eat.
Right.
But when you get that, you swipe it, and they're not kicking you out of
And the soft serve.
Dude, I had soft serve with cereal in it
Yes.
for dessert every meal. I would put Trix in the vanilla soft serve or Captain Crunch every meal. And then if they had like an interesting pie or an interesting cake, I'm getting a little bit of that also.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You would do like I remember being like lunch would be like 15 chicken fingers, and then dinner would be like, oh, they got burgers or pizza.
And there'd be like steak night or weirdly lobster night or some shit. And you'd get that. But you'd also just get whatever the fuck, like a meatball sub if it was there.
And you wouldn't like I know that I didn't go to class a lot. Like I would read the book and say, that was a trick to college. Either you read the book or you go to class. So I'd pick.
Respect.
I'd be like, some of them I'd go to class, some of them I just would never go and read the book. So there'd be days where I'd like go down, eat my meals, go back up to my dorm room, and then wait like 4 hours and then just go back down.
Yeah, when it resets. You got to wait till they refresh the buffet.
You didn't do anything in between.
Well, you probably played some Halo,
I watched
FIFA.
PTI. Yeah. I was like, oh, man, I really worked up an appetite.
Yeah.
All right,
Was
wait,
your shit truly unlimited, or was it like, did they make you think it was unlimited?
Truly. You could start that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And eventually you figured out you were like wasting some kind of credits or something. But bro, just in the beginning to do the damage, like I got so insanely fat. When you take the governor of poverty off of like what a fat 19-year-old can do to himself, it's ugly. Dude.
Wait, so Straight George, I had a question about it. So he got skinny. Did
Yes.
he do the dickhead thing where he got skinny and started taking off his shirt all the time?
No,
Is he still like a fat guy in his brain? Because that's always like everyone knows that guy who
yes,
who
of
was
course.
fat, gets skinny, and then all of a sudden he's got his shirt off like
Yeah.
takes his shirt off at weddings, takes his shirt off like if it's 55 degrees. He's
Right.
like, oh man, I gotta have my
No.
shirt off. It's like, dude, shut the fuck
Of
up.
course.
You were wearing sweatshirts when it was 90 degrees.
I remember this.
3 years
You
ago.
were a shirt in the pool guy.
Yeah, right.
Like as of this presidential term.
Right.
Don't act like you're brand new right now.
Yeah.
No, he's a gentleman. I think he just pointed his eating disorder in the right direction. Like
Got
he hasn't
it.
cured himself. He's just like now about like protein and stuff like that.
Got it.
He would never. He's not. He didn't get he still is a little trapped. You can't ever truly escape being a
Right.
fat kid in your head. You can do really well. I feel like I've burst through it pretty good, but it's always there on some level.
You do look good.
You look very good.
You look awesome. When you were on stage last night, I was like, holy shit, Stavvy.
Thank you.
You're
Yeah.
getting hot on us.
I appreciate it. That's how you got to set the bar so low that weighing 290 and being 5'7", people are like, Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
what are you fucking? You get surgery?
You do look good, though.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Do you have any, like, is there any fear deep in your brain that's like, if I get super skinny, I'm not going to be funny?
Well, I'll never be super skinny. I mean, that's ridiculous. I'm never going
crazy.
I'm never going Al Sharpton, Pez dispenser head mode. You know what I mean? When like that weird shit happens, I'm never going that way. I have always said, big arms, little titties is the goal. Like, that's not no titties. That's little gentleman's titties. You know what I mean? And like a big, like, get some big buys, big tries. That's all I want is like bouncer physique. Like people have said
It's Tony
that.
Soprano.
Dude, season 1 Tony
That's the
Soprano
man.
is the hottest man that's ever lived, dude. Like, and that's all I want. The girls who wanted to fuck him, that's who I want to fuck me. That's how I live my life. Being skinny is also not, what am I going to be, a balding 42-year-old skinny guy?
Right.
That's
right.
despicable.
Right.
Now's the time to be fat as shit.
Yeah.
You were
I'm
talking-
going to peak in my 40s. That's it.
Also,
for sure.
like the pendulum's gonna swing back to like the power of Tony Soprano.
Sure.
Like that's. I think that actually, like, we're kind of getting more alpha as a country. That might just be the new thing.
I do think there is I don't know about the like trends like overall, but in my age, like, as a single man in his mid 30s, now is the time where people are getting fat, they are getting bald, and they don't know how to deal with it.
Right.
They are scared.
You've been there.
I've been here. I'm Bane
Welcome
and
to
they're
big
fucking
leagues.
Batman. You know what I mean? Like, I'm breaking their back. Don't worry about the end of that movie. Just the middle.
Just the middle part.
3/4 part of it.
When Bane was sick. Wait, do you remember? Because my problem is I've always had large breasts. Do you remember the moment when you were a kid when you realized that you were overweight? Because I remember the moment.
Wow, you have a crystallized.
I
moment.
remember going to my friend's pool and my friends asked me. I took my shirt off. My friends asked me if I could put my hands together, and I did that, and my breasts popped.
Oh shit!
And they laughed, and I looked down. And I was like, "What are those?" Like and it's seared in my brain. Like I was like,
"Oh no!"
I didn't know I had tits. And from that moment on, it was like, because when you're like, 7 years old, you don't fucking know.
Of course.
And then
You're
that moment
blissfully
happened,
unaware.
and the shame happened. And I was like, God damn
a true
it.
loss of innocence for little big cat.
That's the Joker.
Looking at my tits.
That's not Bane.
They're
That's
like, put
Joker.
your arms together. I'm like, oh no.
And somebody taught him that. Somebody's perpetuating fat phobia right there.
Yeah.
They were juicy too.
They were nice.
Oh, so nice.
I'm not built like that. I'm not a fat guy with tits, honestly.
Right.
I'm a fat guy with a big ass belly. I keep it pretty. That's really what it's the huge spare tire. Never have I had big ass titties. I grew up with people. I went to high school with people that had the kind of tits that like he would fuck with people and like take videos of his tits like soapy in gym class. And he was like this like light skinned guy. And they just looked like awesome like Puerto Rican girl's titties, and then you zoom out and I won't say his name, but it was like this Arab kid with fat tits. It was so fucking fun. Well, a great joke to do in high school. He literally made like he would like make you horny and then be like, you're fucking gay, dude. Which is like, I don't know who's really losing there, but it was funny to make someone momentarily covet a man's breast.
Yeah, you were talking about Costanza last night.
Yes,
in your routine, and I saw there was some episode that came on the other day, and Costanza took his shirt off, and I looked at him, I was like,
dude, not fat at all.
He looks like
he's powerful.
a pretty powerful dude. But in the whole butt of the joke in that show was like, look at this fat piece of shit.
He's such a fat piece of shit. And now there is Newman who's even fatter.
Yeah, and also the shortness I think is
shortness, bald,
loser.
You know what I mean? Like they lock. You know, they kind of like he does like I'm a loser combo. He hits the multiplier. But yes, he is still fat. He's not considered not fat. And he just was like a regular guy. That episode where he like takes his shirt off and it's like Kramer's taking the pictures of him and he's like, it's so funny that this guy would have his shirt off. It's like, I would like if I got that size, I would be worried. Yeah. Like that, like to me, that's not a fat guy.
Right.
But he also has that, he's kind of has a fatter face
it's
than
the
he has
balding.
body.
Yeah. If you go back and watch anything from the 90s, like everybody just went bald. And they'd have that, like, you know, the real crown of hair around.
I'm actually a little upset that I have. Obviously, I'm not a man who hides his, you know, but I do kind of want to go straight horseshoe someday. So hopefully I keep losing my hair.
So no going to Turkey. We had a bunch of dudes from the office who went to Turkey.
I saw some videos.
Yeah, they took fans.
Right.
I think we're doing a second version this summer. Where we're gonna find like the baldest dude we can possibly.
That's
find.
pretty fun, but I think you got to just take what the Lord gives you, man.
I got my shit done last October.
How's it feel?
Last September. I only did it because I wanted to keep the long hair.
Right.
And there's no worse looking. Like my hair goes down.
See, you know we disagree though. Philosophically, I'm trying to get the bald ponytail.
Dude,
I'm really trying to. I was in something and they made me cut my hair, and I was so pissed because I was like, "Fuck, dude, I don't want to have short hair," but I'm growing it back. I want to be a bald pony.
You
guy.
also should. I've always dreamed of like if I ever got like fully bald, especially the horseshoe, I would just rock a horrendous toupee and just dare people to say shit.
Dude, absolutely. There's phases I've planned out for baldness where it's like bald pony, I gotta achieve, right? And the clock's ticking because you want to have weird, fucked up front hair too, you know, like. And Pft'S, who are you kidding? You would look sick.
A skullet.
As a bald pony.
I know.
I think that I think you would look sick with a skullet. I think my face. I can't grow a beard either. Like I can't grow facial hair.
I got it fucked up, but you know.
You know what it was? I was standing in the TSA line behind a guy who was about my height and about my build. And he had long hair like me, down to like, you know, the middle of his back. And he was like I don't know, probably 2-3 years past where I was at that point, and everybody in the TSA line was staring at this dude.
Yeah.
And he had no idea that people were looking at him, being like, "This guy looks terrible."
But that's all.
And I was like, I resolved at that moment, I'm either cutting it all off,
Sure,
or I'm going to keep it long and try to do. I kind of wish I just shaved it all off because it sucks having long hair sometimes.
I don't know. It is. I love the look. I know what you mean. Like it could have been an opportunity for you to kind of go drastic.
Yeah.
Something else. But I just think you're committed to this. Bald, long hair, bald like gambling prognosticator with a bald pony.
OTB.
Like you know what I mean? The way you dress,
racing,
come on, dude. It's all. This could have been the next phase of PFT. You get into like plaid suits and like really looking like a fucking down and out gambling horse track.
Yeah.
That you got to think about. Like right now, I'm with you. In 10 years, you're gonna wish you had a bald pony.
Yeah, 50 years old.
Ponytail. Yeah.
It might go again. I don't know. I haven't been very diligent about taking my medicine.
You see a guy with who's bald ponytail, and it's like that guy has had something catastrophic happen in his life. Like it's like, he was a professor at Princeton until something horrendous happened.
Yes,
he lost all his money in stocks or horse racing.
It's powerful one way or the other.
Yeah,
because it's like
he's got a story.
That energy, he's got a story. That energy, everyone, all eyes on you, brother. And it's like, are you man enough to handle that?
Yeah, it's like I made it through something.
There has that guy with that look has never been a boring person.
Exactly.
If you just sit down and you're like, hey, what happened?
Something's
they'll just tell you everything.
Either it's the worst shit's ever happened to him, or he doesn't even realize. He's so like he thinks he's fucking so sexy.
Yeah, right.
Like what I want to be. I don't know if Danny DeVito in Twins. You rewatch that movie, dude. He's so awesome. He's like 4 foot tall, bald pony. Slaying whole. My man is just getting pussy left and right. And the whole thing is like he's a pussy hound that mistreats women, and Arnold Schwarzenegger is like his perfect brother that respects women. It's a great movie. But anyway, that's who I want to be one day.
Yeah.
Toupee, I would love to do at some point. Balding blonde skullet at some point. You know what I mean? Like really get the like trash going. I have a lot of designs for my horrible hair.
So you said when we sat down that you've been walking 20,000 steps a day?
Yeah.
Is that should we credit Frank?
Oh,
is that Frank Walks? Are you a Frank Walks great success story?
You know what? I won't hate on. Yeah, put me under there. Why not?
Yeah, get it. Why not?
Let's
another
give Frank the credit.
Story.
Yeah. I do like that, but I think we got to that idea when you're just so fucking fat and your body is useless, and you like what happened to me is I kept trying to work out, and I would every time just get hurt. And I was like, all right, man, let me just walk fucking far. Yep. I'm too fat to even do tricep pulled out. Like I would just blow something out in my elbow, and I would try and lift everything. You're like, if I max out on bench, maybe I will wake up not fat tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
Like once you're in the gym, but
deadlifts are the key to the perfect
body.
Just
keep throwing out my back, just fucking walking hunched over and shit.
Yeah.
And so I'm on the road too, and sometimes it's hard to find a gym or do some research, bro. I just wake up, walk long as fuck for to start my day, and that's pretty good.
It's also like a awesome way to see a city.
Absolutely, exactly.
So just be like, I'm just gonna walk in a direction and then come back.
That's exactly what I do. It's like just go. We've been going to I'll go to a thrift store or an antique store and try and find interesting DVDs. You know what I mean? We're still looking for Goldmember. We got the other two Austin Powers. We're crushing that on the bus. We just got Double Play, Dennis Rodman and Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah. Do you know how sad that is, that what you just said?
What's that?
Like how old we're getting?
Oh,
you're like, I'm going to an antique store to find a DVD. What the fuck, dude?
The youth is going to hate this episode. This is about losing your hair and going for nice low-impact cardio to find outdated forms of media.
DVDs were the shit. Oh, man. I was talking with someone the other day. Remember the 6 months that Laserdiscs had a run where it was just huge DVDs?
Yeah, I caught the fairy tale.
It was like, this is the future.
Yeah, I only watched Star Wars with that, and I was like, this is and I also thought because it was space that it was connected, that it was futuristic, and then I never saw them again. So in my head, it was like, oh, that's how Star Wars. I used to say Star Wars.
They just made them smaller.
Yeah. They sat us down in the library one day. I was in 4th grade, and the librarian was like, this is your future, children.
Yeah.
Everything that you're going to ever watch is going to fit on this tiny, thin little... It was the size of a record.
Right.
Yeah, it was just a metallic record. And they're like, we used the entire school budget on this one machine.
There was that.
And then 6 months later, it was gone.
Then there was the milk pouches. Did you guys ever get the milk
Never
pouches?
got milk pouches.
No.
Never
Yeah,
got the
our
pouch.
cafeteria ladies one day, they were actually, it was in PE class. They're like, okay, we have a video to show you guys because the way that you drink milk in this country is about to change forever. And then they passed around these little bags of milk.
Bags.
Yeah, like they
Capri
were,
Sun style?
Capri Sun style, but like
Less structured.
less strong. You couldn't stand it up on an end. It was like a plastic pouch of milk. And they're like, we're not going to do cartons anymore. You're never going to drink out of a carton ever again. It's going to be these bags of milk. Here's how you stab into it. And they showed
That's
us.
so
and they're like,
funny.
whatever you do, after you're done drinking it, do not blow the pouch back up and then pop it.
Oh, okay.
And that didn't really work out. In fact, we popped it so much. I think every kid across America that they tried to teach the bag milk procedure to just start popping it.
Of course.
So like, fuck that. We're going back to cartons. But in Canada, they just drink out of bags all the time.
Really?
That's
Damn.
like their style of milk.
Like
yeah.
Franzia?
Yeah, exactly. You slap the bag.
Slap in the bag.
Slap the bag with some whole milk,
Canadian
bro.
kids slapping the bag.
You could chuck one of those so far too.
Yeah.
They're actually the best.
Ooh, that's like they gave you a water balloon full of milk.
yes.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
They're
That's
like,
crazy.
Surely the children will care about their health.
Yeah.
Wait, so what's the best city you've been to?
Oh, dude, I don't know. I mean, I had a great time in Madison, your alma mater, obviously. I really I love Minneapolis.
Minneapolis
It's
is a very
great
good city.
and
yeah.
I caught it with some great weather.
Yep.
They have incredible food. We got insane sushi. This place, Billy Sushi's incredible.
There's lakes right there.
The lake's great. The
Yeah.
Mississippi River's there, which actually
Yeah.
fucked with me because I'm like, that's too far
start.
north, little buddy.
Yeah.
Get the fuck down.
Yeah.
why are you up here? But I truly am a fucking old man, dude. I love a nice on the water walk.
Yeah.
Like it just soothes my brain and I'm just fucking strolling. But yeah, I loved it. The food was great. I got at a hotel with a sauna and like an outdoor heated pool.
Oh, hell
so you
yes.
you just fucking roasting. I mean, truly old European man activities, but I loved it, dude.
Yeah.
The Dreamboat Tour.
Dreamboat tour, yep. The
Wait.
show in Minneapolis was great too.
So you're not taking any flights?
Bro, I'm doing like 50 cities. I've been on a plane 4 times. I'll be on a plane 4 times total.
So
It's
what was the
awesome.
longest drive you've done?
We did like from Vancouver to like fucking somewhere in Southern California. I don't remember, Fresno or some shit.
Wait,
which
so-
sucked dick, by the way. One of
Yeah.
the worst places of all time. I got sick. Fresno sucks so much dick, dude. I was working out at I go to this gym and there's a guy just clipping his toenails just outside, just like on a bench, bro. It was not like there's people like going to squash courts, and it's just like the guy's just like staring you dead in the eye, not like embarrassed whatsoever. And it seemed like guys who were like not quite homeless, but not homeless. You know what I mean? Like these are guys that kind of get access to a house maybe 12 days out of the month, and they were taking up their time at a gym in Fresno. But I think I got like low grade, like, you know, some kind of flu just working out there. But
Yeah.
that city sucks dick. Bakersfield, you know, also kind of sucks dick, but was fun shows there.
Well, you know, I mean, the inland California, like you never hear anything about it. So
yeah,
it's
you
like,
don't hear.
hey, what's going on over there?
They would rather you not know.
Yeah.
But yeah, just that image of that like fucking possibly displaced man clipping his toenails by a fucking lat pull down machine will stick with me.
Wait, so
But yeah, it was like 18-hour drive.
What was the decision? Because most like comedians, I feel like when they do a big tour like this, they go home during the week and then they go back out, and you're like, I just want to be out. So you're how many months are you going to be away from home?
Like 2.5 total.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, it's a lot, but I also like. I kind of just wanted, first of all, Madden style. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
DVD player. I got my snacks. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to be healthy.
You got the bed in the back.
Got the bed. No, I sleep in a little cubby.
No way.
I love the
side
cubby. I don't
ones?
have the
Okay.
star. I'm a man of the people. There's no
The cubby
star.
is actually nice. You feel like
You feel like a little baby. Like
in a
it's
womb.
like
Yeah.
when you were a baby and your parents would take you to the car to make you fall asleep. That's what it feels like. I sleep great on there. But it's me and my best friends. It's basically a rolling slumber party.
Yeah.
And all of them have like families that they're like away from. And for me, I'm like, isn't this great, guys? Can't we just live like this forever?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but it's fun as shit. And yeah, I think it just costs a lot of money. But dude, I just want it to be fun. Like I'm just trying to have a good time. And I'm also trying to be less fat. Like every other tour, I would gain maybe 40 pounds. And I was like, if that happens again, I'm going to die like fast. Like it's gonna be like a matter of like 5 years if I keep gaining weight. So that's why I was like, we're getting the bus. I literally I bought a hot plate and I was legitimately cooking like chicken like a fucking like divorced man on like a like camp burner on the bus in New Orleans. It was raining and I was like, if I leave it stopped raining, and then my friends were like, let's go out for a walk. I was like, if I leave, I'm getting like 4 po' boys.
Yeah.
So I'm staying in the bus,
Yeah.
cooking the saddest chicken, like divorced dad, chicken and like beans from a can, and just like eating it on like a, a hugely successful, like a 50 city tour of like 2,500 seat theaters. I'm fucking eating like a divorced guy. But
Do you have a TV on there?
brother, we got the setup is awesome because it's a bus, right? And it's like it's like a bench on one side, bench on the other side, like passenger and driver side facing each other. You have a TV on either side.
Yep.
So we're standing like this. We're both watching TV.
You watch the TV together.
I'm looking at my boy look at Chuck Norris take down David Carradine. You know what I mean? While it's the best, dude. I'm drinking zero sugar root beers. I'm gotten very into regional diet sodas.
Yeah.
Shout out to Grapico, a strange soda that tastes like syrup. Like
You are Frank.
Is he a diet soda guy?
Well, no, he's a soda like reviewer.
Oh
And
fuck!
he'll if you give him a
I gotta
meal,
talk to. I gotta get in here with Frank because I'm peripherally. I love what I see from Frank. I love how pissed off he gets at things that should not, really affect a grown man that much. I love to see that kind of passion, and I love him walking.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was a soda.
he's a
reviewer.
sommelier
By trade.
You could give him a food and he'll pair it with the soda.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
We have to- is he a diet guy now that he's healthier?
He doesn't. He likes sugar.
I think it's
see.
just more less because I think there was a time when he was like 15 a day.
God damn,
I think so.
bro.
Yeah.
No, we got. Maybe I could be Diet Frank, dude.
Yeah.
I could be the diet because I love. Listen, how much time you guys got? 7-Up's got a new tropical that they're doing. Really good. Really, you should check it out. But yeah, I'm drinking my diet sodas, protein bars, all that kind of shit.
What are your favorite diet sodas? Because I think the diet root beers are pretty good.
Diet root beer's great. There's a Dr. Brown's cream soda that's a diet that's very good. Very good stuff. Everyone's going to hate this episode.
This is guys talking soda. Fuck that.
And I'm not stopping, by the way. There's a cherry 7-Up they just came out with that I really enjoy. So yeah, Wild Cherry Pepsi, classic.
Yes.
I remember that.
Oh, my favorite.
That's back, baby. And they got a
Yes.
cream version, which I don't like as much. But yeah, I'm telling you, brother, I've been. That's my only vice left because I've been sober half the time, dude. I'm having some diet sodas for sure.
Wait, what do you mean sober half the time?
It's so hard not to smoke weed, dude.
Yeah.
because it's so. Cause
You're not sober. You literally. We were gonna do
Well,
this
today,
show at
I'm
6,
not.
and you texted me like, "Hey, can I come at 7? I got high and I gotta watch Rush Hour."
Dude, it came on Tubi. I was like about to put my shoes on, and Rush Hour came on, and I was like, "Fuck! I just had some lamb. I'm pretty high. I don't want to get up." So I texted you. I was like, "Dude, I gotta watch Rush Hour," and I own it on like 2 other streamers, but I watched it on Tubi with the commercial.
When it comes on naturally, there's nothing better.
It feels so good, dude. It feels incredible.
Catch a Goodfellas natural. Oh, it's the
Nothing
best.
better.
You're half Frank and half Mince. Yeah, Mincy sober is what we call him.
Yo, yeah.
Good clean living.
Oh, dude, I'm trying to stay away from Kush. Kush will make you snack, but when you do a show and it's like late as fuck and you're like amped up from energy, it's like so unnatural for people to be like cheering for you when you're like you've done nothing. You feel like you haven't accomplished anything, and then 2,000 people are like,
And you gotta go to bed.
and then you gotta go to bed. It's like, come on, smoke a little Kush. It's not the end of the world.
What do you do right after a show?
Nothing crazy. Like, dude, I used to go out. I used to maybe go to a bar or something, or get like go to a cool like diner or something. Like, I'm boring this tour because I'm trying to stay alive. So I'm just like in the green room.
The Stay Alive tour.
It really is. I'm trying to stay alive so bad, dude. Let's see our 70s, the tour. Let's make it to at least 71, the tour. But I don't do shit, dude. I hang out. I have a yogurt, maybe a protein shake. I get my steps backstage. I'll fucking walk back and forth if I haven't finished my steps. And then we go back and we watch a movie. Like, we watch a movie. We hang out. That's pretty much it, dude. It's not.
That also
glamorous.
sounds fun.
But that's also
It's being 36.
That's the reality. Like when we go and we do like Grit Week or we go Super Bowl week, and everyone's like, "You guys must party the whole time." It's like, not really, because like if I did, we wouldn't be able to do our job.
Of course, yeah.
We'd be dead.
I know. Like maybe the tour we started a casino and we were like gambling all night, and I just got sick within like 4 days.
Right.
You're
Your
up all
body just
night.
stops. Yeah.
And so then I realized like, fuck, I at a certain point, you have to put on a show.
Yeah.
You have to do a good job. People came. That's the other thing with theaters. Like, I feel like, oh, fuck. People like made a plan to be here. This isn't like a shitty comedy club.
This
where
is
I
a
could just be
date
like,
night.
It's like
Yeah.
classy.
Yeah.
There's statues and shit.
I know, dude. It's
carpets.
so funny. There's
The-
chandeliers.
The end of the tour, though, like the end of Super Bowl week, will go out. Like you're gonna go out at the end of the tour. When you get close.
Well, it wraps up. Well, dude, we actually end the tour on like a 3 casino run. And,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and then Mother's Day in DC. So
Oh,
like,
yeah.
so I'm gonna just be so wildly hungover for that show.
Yeah.
And my mom's probably gonna be there. But yeah, we're ending with like some shitty like Eastern Seaboard casinos where we are gonna go fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I do love the idea of somebody buying their mom tickets to Stavvy's show for Mother's Day. Yeah. Let's go check him out. You're going to love this, Mom.
If it's a very specific type of mother, I'm interested. if we have a precocious 7-year-old who's trying to get his mother tickets to my show, hit the DMs with her most recent headshots.
Are you watching any of the NBA playoffs?
I'm barely watching. That's been the hardest part of this tour, actually, is that you just kind of you plan these things a year out in advance, and like I didn't get to really enjoy Duke choking. I didn't really, you know what I
Dude,
mean?
It was
Like,
great.
I
You have any
know.
questions about it? I can tell you everything.
Dude, it was all. I mean, I was kind of. I've done that so much where I like catch games right after, or I'm like, oh fuck, this game's going on because I've just been performing every cool sporting event, so I'm just started kind of paying attention again a little bit. I'm obviously rooting for the Knicks. The Bucks, I'm a little, they're in such a fucking tough spot. I mean, because I have I love Milwaukee, but I have no true loyalties to it. I'm kind of in let's get Giannis out of there mode. You know what I mean? Like, let's get him to the Knicks. Let's collude. Come on. This we got to go Stern style. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Enough with the like gentle commissionering.
Yeah.
Let's fucking pull some
Get the
fucking
stars to
strings.
the big
Get
cities.
Giannis to fucking the Knicks. Let's go.
I mean, Milwaukee had a couple good years where Stavvy was a big fan. You were supportive.
I
your
am
man
still
Giannis.
supportive, and listen-
but now you're like, I'm still supportive, but also now's the time when we got to cut the loyalty to the team off and do what's best
Exactly.
for you, Giannis.
Do what's best
That's
for-
for you to play for my favorite team.
Exactly.
Start taking
Somewhere where
care of
a city
yourself.
I live.
Yeah.
Yeah, Greek loyalty for sure, first and foremost. But yeah, I mean, I respect it because I love when you try something cool, even though it seems kind of dumb. Dame and Giannis was awesome. That's a great thought experiment.
Yeah.
Try it. I mean, the Ravens, people were kind of saying that about when we signed Henry, where they're like, this is one of those on paper moves. He's an over 30 running back. And it's like, can you just shut the fuck up and let cool shit happen?
Right.
Hopefully.
Right.
And so I feel like I went 1 for 2 in my life for those things. And I can't be too fucking, I can't be too picky.
You did a reunion with Cumtown with Adam and Nick. It was hilarious having you guys back together. Was it too like how did it come about? How did it come about that you guys were doing it? Because you guys only broke up 3 years ago.
Yeah, I think so.
Was it too soon?
No, it wasn't. I mean,
It was awesome to hear
nobody
you guys.
thought. See, the thing is, we didn't really think of it as a reunion. Like everyone, it's like we don't just like the show. We've never thought about this.
Right.
It was just that, like when it first happened, I think it was good for everybody to kind of do their own thing and like whatever. And we've been on great terms for like almost the whole time. Like when it first ended, it was a little weird, but like we've been friends. And then it was literally a scheduling thing where we kept saying like, I'd love for you guys to come do the show, or like you want to do, and then it just before the tour, I had to fucking do a bunch of episodes, and also I think Nick, once Nick decided he wanted to do his own thing, and it was like officially all 3 of us were going to be separate. It kind of felt like okay, now it's like let's
and it's not them two doing something
because Adam wanted to do his own thing with like so even though he's still keeping the Adam Friedland show, it's really his now, and it's not like a collaboration, and so we just decided like, let's get together because now the Patreon is a pure, it's just like, what do you call it? Like an archive.
Right.
So no one really, we split that and we were just like, well, if we're going to do that, we should like have one we were going to get together and record a 5-minute message for the fans, but you get on the mics with the fellas and it feels like old times.
Yeah.
And you just keep it going. And then we recorded a little surprise farewell podcast, and then right after we just did my podcast because it felt good,
right?
You know what I mean? So it was just fun. It was just a good time, and
you guys should do a podcast together.
Yeah,
you'd be really good.
People were remarking we have pretty good chemistry.
Yeah,
I do like Adam's show. Do you watch Adam's show?
I've seen it. Yeah. I didn't at the beginning. I didn't watch it that much because again, I didn't want to like steal anything from my old like partners. But yeah, it's very good. And I love seeing they do a really good job of getting very specific people in a very weird context.
Yes.
You know, and
yes.
and you get great shit out of that.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
Wait,
Yeah.
so you did it. Were you? I mean, the reaction probably. I know that you weren't surprised, but it had to feel good.
Yeah,
to have because like it's a time and place for a lot of people
For sure.
who loved that show.
Definitely.
I count myself in
Of
that.
course, and I get that. I mean, like even with a little like distance. I mean, I always loved the show, and it's like you really remember, like, damn, we had some great bits.
Right.
Like we really. It's funny. You guys, there was like a handful of people that launched like right in that same time, and there is like a weird kinship between like everybody. Like we all got too successful undeservedly. Like we're good, but none of us deserve what's happening.
No,
to
it's
us,
the
right?
lightning
You know
in
what
a
I mean?
bottle.
Like we got
right
lucky.
place, right time.
Yeah,
and then
all
and
of us.
PFT and I are like the in the like town where everyone starts breaking up, and we're like. We're still good, right? Like Jesus and Mero break up, Comtown
you're right. It all
breaks
happened
up.
pretty quick.
Yeah, and we're just like, but we're good.
You're the married couple that still fucks inexplicably.
Yeah, and
It was
everyone's like,
two
fuck
times
these
a week.
guys. Yeah.
Two times a week.
I thought Alex and Sophia were gonna make it.
Yeah.
But it's true that like 2016, 17, that like range. When did you guys start Cometown?
Right around.
Yeah,
like
right.
2015 maybe.
15, like
Maybe
that was
early
right
16?
before everyone had a podcast.
Yes.
And it was like the last time, because it was, podcasts obviously started well before that. Joe
Sure.
Rogan, Bill Simmons, all these guys. So like, it's not like we invented podcasting, but I think
Nah, we
that
did,
was,
dude.
Yeah.
I mean, KFC had I was on KFC radio for 4 years before that. KFC was the one who was like, podcasting's the future, and it was like dumb idea. But like that 2015, 16, 17 range where it's like that was kind of the last time where you could break through unless you have like multiple Super Bowls or have played a sport or done something.
You're right. We were like, it's like when the
Like
NFL would
idiots.
draft a guy out of the fucking mines.
Yeah.
Like, that was us.
Yeah.
Like, we were just like, oh yeah, I saw a strong guy pulling, like working on a farm. Let's make him our lineman.
Yeah,
like, we were just guys that got media careers.
He's a really good plumber.
yeah.
I think he's
Raw
strong.
talent we can work with. Yeah,
But yeah, like I don't think that you could. I think like I say that always because I hate when people have success and they just completely
Oh my God.
They're like luck
It's
had
so
nothing to
annoying.
do with it. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, luck had so much to do with it.
There's so many people in other generations that are more talented than all of us.
Yeah.
That just no one will ever hear of.
Right.
And they will die doubting themselves. And they just were unlucky. And we were lucky.
Yeah, you were right. You were right to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the last time where I feel like you could break through as just like idiots that didn't have a ton of talent
Exactly.
and could kind of learn it on the fly.
Well, the wild thing about Cometown was, how people say like Tropic Thunder, that movie could never get made today.
Mm-hmm.
They say that shit. So with Cometown, it's like you guys are the podcast that would actually do better today.
Yeah,
I feel like
You're right.
you guys did your shit.
It was hard
in the
to
worst
be
times.
Yeah, absolutely. People did not like it, man. Not at all.
Yeah.
You're right. I think it actually probably, but you know what? That was the magic of it.
Yeah,
is that,
it's true.
Because
Counterculture.
people now are doing it in a way that's so pathetic and like it's like. People are just trying to be pure trolls,
Right.
Whereas like our show is like when you're with your boys, and it's that feeling of like no one's listening. Let's say the most fucked up thing that makes us laugh.
Right.
We were just stupid enough and had nothing going on in our lives. We were like, let's just put it on a microphone. Who gives a fuck?
Right.
We're fucking poor. Right. Nick had ringworm. I was living in a windowless room. We had nothing. We had nothing you could take from us. So we were like, fuck it. We'll say the most fucked up shit. Yeah. No, it was awesome. And the response was great, dude. I mean, it was like, because there's so much weird shit where people think we're not friends or like they just don't understand that. You just do different creative stuff. And
Right.
like, also, Cometown couldn't last forever. It's like you don't want like the aging guy. We just spent the first part of this podcast talking about like slow cardio, diet sodas, and how to manage male pattern baldness. That's where we are in our lives. You don't want this guy saying fucked up shit.
Yeah.
It's when you're like old as shit and trying to be a troll. That's sad.
Yeah.
That's for a new generation of people to do it. You know what I mean? Like, there's probably like 22-year-olds, 24-year-olds that are doing the Cometown of today. I don't know what it is because I'm fucking old. You know what I mean? But that's good.
But
it's a generational
I'll also
thing.
say that you have stayed young at heart, and I think that like people who try to shame that always is so funny to me. Like, I'll get it a lot where people be like, 40-year-old father of 3, like, grow up. It's like, no, dude.
Yeah,
I don't
why?
have to grow up.
Yeah,
that's the
you're
best
a good
part
dad.
of this job.
Like, that's the thing.
Like, I can literally just be an idiot for the rest of my life.
Yeah. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Like, I feel like I went pro at hanging out.
Yeah, right.
Like, that's what my job is.
It's very, we
just
have
having a good
similar
time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Just
you
chilling
guys
out.
too. You're
yeah,
just
with
hanging
the
out.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like nobody tapped into like, you know, how most sports guys just like hanging out.
Yeah,
That's
right.
why your show's fun, you
It's
know,
like,
for athletes.
Let's put on a tie and talk about sports.
Yeah.
That's what it was for the longest time.
I know, that's so funny,
It's
dude.
so
Yeah.
funny.
That nerds fucking controlled that. But
Yeah.
but
And
yeah,
like, what
it's
does it mean
awesome.
for society? It's like, how
gives
about
a
like
fuck?
we just want to like this last week.
The color I cheered for as a baby has to beat the color I hated when I was a baby, or I'm going to be pissed. That's what it is,
That's
man.
what sports is.
That's what
Yeah.
sports actually is.
We did it last week. We
And
just
then if
started.
like somebody on the team that you cheered for when they were a baby, they're like a really bad guy.
Yeah.
Then you just find out all the legal reasons why technically
Right.
they're not that bad of a
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah,
But it's still okay for me to like this.
all
yeah,
sports
absolutely.
fans have had to become legal experts at some
Oh,
point.
yeah, absolutely.
Just because someone got into hot water. You know, we were laughing
100%.
last week. We decided Arch Manning can't win the big one, and
Love
Texas
that.
fans were getting so mad at us.
So
it's like,
fun.
Yeah.
yeah, this is what you do with your friends.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
troll your friend.
Totally.
Just be like, yeah, your guy sucks.
Just mock a child, like a strong child, but still like a
a
20-year-old.
child who could kick our ass.
Of course, of course.
I feel like as a Manning though, like,
Manning, for
I don't
sure.
have to respect the child aspect.
No.
You're right.
Because
You're
like
right.
he's already royalty. So
You're
it's
right.
like, yeah, you're a choker.
A 14-year-old
18-year-old.
Manning, a
Yeah.
14-year-old Manning is like a 50-year-old with a 401k mortgage for sure.
You're right. He's set. That motherfucker's set, even if he blows it for sure.
Yeah.
And he can't. I've heard actually from sources he can't win the big one. They're
Yeah, the
scared.
media is
I actually have some sources at UT, and they were telling me they're really scared. They're looking at the transfer portal for a quarterback. You can quote me on that. Inside sources from the mothership in Austin.
So yeah, the NBA playoffs going on right now. I know that I used to listen to the Pipecast.
Yes.
Which was very funny. I
Thank you.
I miss your sports takes.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, dude, what breaks my heart is that, I've always been a hoops, like, even when we were first friends, I was total like a hoops fanatic, and I watched the Ravens, but I didn't care that much. I hate that with age, like, the NFL is inevitable. Where
Yeah.
It's like, it's one day a week, and they know that. And where they might fuck up is overstretching themselves. I really believe that. But, like, I love hoops more than anything, but I used to, like, get fucked. I would go to a show. I would be a comedian in New York trying to make it. I'd have shitty shows till, like, 11 or 12. I'd come back and catch League Pass. Every night I would watch the West Coast games on the East Coast. Every single night I would get something fucked up from a deli and watch like the Kings play the Thunder or something, right? And when I was watching, and I would wake up every morning and look at the highlights of the games I didn't watch. I was like clued into everything. But now that I like have shit to do and responsibilities, like the NBA needs to be half the games, and they need to pick like, Wednesday or Thursday and Sunday or something like that.
Yes.
Or
Own
Wednesday
a day of the
and Saturday.
week.
Yeah, own one day of the week. And that's what's so like, and I love football. Obviously, I love the Ravens, but it's like, you can't beat that feeling of like, don't even fucking bother me. I'm going to fucking grill something and I'm going to eat it throughout the day. I'm going to pick it at an 8-pound pork shoulder from 10 a.m. to fucking, 11:30.
Yeah.
And that's going to be my day. Don't bother me. And I wish I could do that with hoops. I would love, like, Christmas, MLK Day. I love those days, dude, where you could just, like, sit on the couch. They have, like, a bunch of – and that's why I am looking forward to – I have a couple off days on this run. It's just brutal because I have, like, every single day a different city. But on an off day, I'm going to watch some playoffs. But, yeah, it breaks my heart that basketball is just hard to follow when you have responsibilities.
And the NFL is just every game matters.
True.
It really – like, the NBA, I love NBA basketball. I love basketball. I just can't. The regular season, I can't just let me know when the playoffs start, and I'll be tuned into every game.
Yeah,
but it's just in
and
the NFL. It's like
if it was 50 games, every game would matter.
Yeah.
Every game would actually matter in the standings. Like it would have a little juice. And I'm one of those guys that I loved the bubble. I thought the quality of basketball was good. I thought that it was like that. It was it was tournament style. They were like they were like better rested. Like I think they didn't go far enough with the in-season tournament. I'm like, put them somewhere for a month. I liked those games, and it felt like it kind of fake recreated it wasn't March Madness, but it kind of gives you enough of that placebo of March Madness. But I don't know. I am worried about like just, you know, you're right. Just your ability to follow the NBA and how meaningless a middle of the, you know, year.
Yeah. What if they did it like the reverse, where they put every team in a bubble, like maybe down Disneyland, and then if you want to leave the bubble, you got to win.
Ooh,
and so your way out. And if you lose, I don't know what the punishment would be, but you have to stick around in the bubble for like an extra month.
Okay, there's just like, you know, big-titted women just like right outside the bubble.
They got a gate. Got a gate that's set up, and they have just like a line of,
you can see
escorts.
It.
Yeah,
like when you're shooting free throws, you could like peer into the outside with just groupies,
delicious
just, like,
food trucks out there. Yeah.
The only problem with that is we just end up having to watch like 50 Hornets Wizards games.
You're right. No, LeBron's out of there fast.
They're out of there.
Yeah.
Jokic is gone after day 2. We're like, fuck.
Jordan Poole, I think, would actually be very motivated.
He would
to get
be.
out.
Yeah.
That's true. That is true. Yeah. No, I love that idea. Play for freedom.
All right, wait. So when we did do the can't win the big one.
Yeah.
With
don't say
Arch
it. Don't
Manning,
even, you fucking motherfucker.
His name was put out there.
Come on, man. Fuck you guys.
I mean, he can't.
He's gonna do. He's fine.
But I'm worried.
Fine.
I'm not. Fine? I like Lamar Jackson. I like Lamar Jackson.
You can hear it in my voice. I really believe it. He's fine. I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. I'm fine.
I had this thought the other day because I like.
You'll never get me on record, you motherfuckers. He's fine. Fuck you guys. Josh
Allen, Lamar Jackson.
He couldn't win it either. What about him?
No, I know. I'm about to say.
Is he on the list?
Hold on. No, he wasn't.
Oh, well, fuck you. He's on the list. No, he's on the list.
He's friends of ours.
No, the refs.
We don't.
I don't care.
Be
a fucking journalist.
No, we don't do that. Listen. We keep you off of lists because we're friends with you. No, but I was thinking about this the other day, and it was kind of a depressing thought because I like Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. I like all three of those guys.
Yes.
They're so much fun to watch.
Yes.
One or two of them's not going to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, well,
like,
one
that's
of them
just
plays
how
for the
it's
fucking Bengals. How about we start there?
Right.
Such a dumbass dog shit organization. Doesn't know how to fucking sign a wide receiver. They don't know how to. I mean, these fucking idiots don't know the cap. Like, what's your job? Shouldn't there be a guy that knows the cap on the fucking Bengals? Like, they do everything so fucking stupid. How about we start there?
Okay.
One guy plays for the fucking Bengals.
I'm just saying.
So it's one guy's out already.
But one guy made it to the Super Bowl.
So it's a 50-50.
All right, fucking flew, and that's the most he'll ever fucking do. Fuck him and fuck you too.
It just depressed me because those three guys are such good quarterbacks, and it's like Mahomes gonna win a few more.
Maybe. Hey, how about maybe the fucking maybe it's over.
Yeah, probably not.
Maybe second half Patrick Mahomes can't win the big one. From starting today, Patrick Mahomes can't win the big one.
Listen, in 2025, he has proven he can't win the big one.
That's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm saying.
But it's depressing because those guys are awesome, and it's like it's the Phillip Rivers, like where it's like that guy was awesome at being a quarterback, and he never went to a Super Bowl.
The thing about Lamar, though, the comp I keep making is just Peyton Manning. He's cooler Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
He's fucking electric in the regular season. And as a fan, every game, you're not going to every game you want to see. He's going to do something incredible. And like over time, just the joy he brings you. And by the way, he's winning a Super Bowl. I'm not worried about it whatsoever. He's going to win a Super Bowl. But it's like, the value of every Sunday, maybe seeing the coolest highlight you've ever seen in your life, that's in play. And I think over the course of a career, it's equal. It's not better. It's not better, but it's equal, and he's going to win one. So don't fucking goad me, you motherfucker.
You're talking like
that's
a man.
Philosophical point. No, I'm just trying to say, what's up with all this rings culture? And we got to fucking win. How about you enjoy your life? Go out and smell the fucking roses every once in a while and enjoy the beauty and the majesty of a fucking incredible highlight.
You're basically doing the I wouldn't even want to win the lottery because your life would get ruined.
Dude, it's hard. You got to get a lawyer. Nobody, everybody's fucking out to get something from you.
Yeah.
I got a good life now. I make a nice living. No, dude, I wouldn't even fuck her if she tried. You know what I mean? Like that. Rihanna.
I do think Lamar's going to win one. I think the Ravens are a good enough organization where they just keep taking shots.
Exactly. Yeah. And he's going to figure he's going to figure it out. It's fine. Has he been up to his standards? No, but the more cracks you get at it, the better you get at it. It's fine. He
should be worse in the regular season. He should figure out a way to be a little bit worse.
Great point. No, that's a good point.
Because then then he could just be a little bit better.
You're right.
In the postseason, everyone's like, "Holy shit, team on his back."
Is he just tired in the playoffs? He's like, that was a long fucking
Yeah,
season.
is he? Ooh, I hate to say this, but is he James Harden?
Oh,
He's not. He's way better. It's not even fucking close.
Yeah, he actually lost weight.
Yeah, exactly. And he was fucking electric this season. You know what I mean?
When
Like,
I
he
saw him
was
at the
there.
start of the season, I was like, why? And he keeps talking about how he lost, like, what, 15, 20 pounds?
Yeah.
I was like, Lamar.
Like, from where also?
Lamar
Yeah.
was never fat.
I know.
What's
But he
going on?
was. He
But
did look
looked
smaller.
faster.
Yeah,
he looked
faster.
Do you still, like, do you find yourself still wincing every time he gets hit? Like,
Yeah,
please don't
of
let that be the
course.
big one. I'm terrified of the big one.
Of course. I mean, yeah, your boy's fucking skinny as fuck.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Lamar has had some injuries, obviously, but I am a little scared. I've gotten a little more scared, but I also think I don't think he should be afraid to just open it up a little bit. You know, I do think there is something to whatever. We don't have to get into like the playoffs again, but it's like I would have liked to see a little more Lamar running a little. I mean, our running game was like legendary, and I do think I don't know. I'm still fucking pissed we lost.
I felt bad that you had to do because we kind of have.
Yeah,
made
yeah,
you
yeah,
our
you
Ravens
felt bad.
fan. No, I was good. Not for what we did.
Yeah.
No. Hold on.
Go ahead.
I'm not apologizing
Good.
for having you on
fuck
after
you guys.
the loss. That Katie Nolan also used you as after
her first show. And by the way, I felt bad for Katie because I didn't know you're not supposed to curse, or like they hadn't even talked it out, and they were like, I guess they were assuming they weren't going to curse, and then you can't have me on after
as
the
the
Ravens
first
lose,
guest,
and not warn me. But no, that show was fun. But yes, it was really
You
that
did
was
double
tough.
dip.
I did have to double dip, and
Yeah.
I was expecting to be triumphant. I didn't think I thought I'm going to be fucking celebrating. We're winning a fucking Super Bowl. What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
fucking tough, dude.
Yeah,
It could be worse.
Could be way worse. Like I said, I'm enjoying my life.
could be the Steelers.
Could be the Browns.
Yeah,
Could have Deshaun Watson.
Exactly.
Now you just have Justin Tucker. That's
I don't
it.
know anything about that, PFT. The man is a man of God. I haven't seen any police reports. I've seen him at Mass.
Yeah.
I've seen him, that's where I've seen him. I don't even know what you're even talking about.
You just
actually.
can't listen. If there's a franchise that's equipped for Justin Tucker, it's the Ravens. You got a fan base that has done, who's basically gotten their JD in Ray Lewis and Terrell Suggs. You're ready, and
You're
Ray
just
Rice.
gonna skip Ray Rice?
you guys have more law degrees than any fan base.
Yeah, and the fan base is mostly guys who have represented themselves in court. You know what I mean? They've represented themselves in their own domestic abuse.
It's a double whammy for Justin Tucker that he also started sucking this year because
I mean,
like,
in
Ravens
hindsight,
fans are going to be like,
kind of
in
makes
hindsight,
yeah.
maybe it makes a little.
I think he was getting some emails around that time of year.
Yeah, they're like, Justin, put your phone away.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it makes a little sense why the man was nervous, I guess.
yeah.
But yeah, that is a tough one, and disavow.
Yeah.
I actually, whenever something bad happens, I will not pay attention until I have to.
Yeah.
So that I have plausible deniability.
Yeah.
So I really haven't seen anything. You know what I mean? Start of the season, I will have to wait. This is not me going on record. I'm not doing it now. Like I said,
There'll be a time where you'll have to make a statement.
I will have to make a statement, and it's going to hurt either way, no matter what it is, except I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'll probably make a statement about how excited I am for the Ravens and what a great guy he is. 'Cause I don't know anything else going on.
Are you going to take a vacation this summer? Like when the tour's over?
I think I'm going to go to Greece, yeah.
Oh, hell yes.
Yeah, dude. Greece is the best. I'm going to go to Greece. And I'm going to try and do some UK shows, too, while I'm over there.
Have you become a celebrity a little bit in Greece or no?
I don't think so. I think comedy is still like we just started getting stand-up comedy in Greece like 5 years ago. Before there was a lot of hitting little people in the face with pies. That was kind of the level of comedy going around. But I don't think yet, but who knows with I guess Netflix is international. We got season 2 of Tires coming up.
Oh yeah,
that's gonna be fucking awesome.
Congrats! That shit got renewed like the day it came out. Didn't
It got renewed. I hope. It was really funny. This season's fucking good, man. And we had like an actual budget this time. There's so many incredible guest stars.
Francis is in it.
Francis is in it. He was very funny. We were on the same on the pilot. We were in the same episode. He was great to work with. But I think it's gonna be so good. It's
I'm
so
excited
funny.
for
so
it.
Hopefully, Tires makes me a celebrity in Greece.
Yeah, because I would think that would be like if you just go on vacation in Greece and you're just having women just all over you.
That'd be nice. I don't think I'm there.
Why not?
I don't know, dude. That would be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Sign me the fuck up. I think any Greek name, if you start getting anything going, they'll like they fucking celebrate Tom Hanks because his wife is sort of Greek. You know what I mean? Like there's literally newspapers will like track where Tom Hanks vacations, like just because his wife is like helped produce my big fat Greek wedding. And so hopefully if I get one more like mainstream credit, I think maybe we'll get some free gyro and that kind of stuff.
What is it about Greece where you don't have to pay your taxes?
Just an easygoing lifestyle, man. No tattle. We're very against tattletale. Very against snitching. That's
a
Greece
great society.
And Baltimore has that in common. We're just who cares, man? Just chill out. We are a very hang-based society. Greek people love they'll just go. They'll get coffee for like 4 hours, like take a nap afterwards. It's awesome, dude. Yeah. It's the best. Yeah.
All right, I got one last question. Rowback
Sure.
question. RHOBACK.com. Promo code TAKE, 20% off your first purchase. Q-zips, polos, hoodies, joggers, shorts, rowback.com. Promo code TAKE. I guess this is the draft episode. So what do you think about the Ravens pick?
Dude, that's how fucking bad. That's how like.
No, you literally could just be like steal. Because the Ravens always do that.
Yeah, I mean,
remember
you're
Kyle
right,
Hamilton?
You're right,
Everyone's like,
you're right.
Pro
First of
Bowler.
all, yes, steal.
Yeah.
Steal of the draft.
Yeah.
We have the best. That's the thing. That is part of it where I'm like, I don't know. Like Wiggins, I didn't know him.
Yeah.
Love him.
Yeah.
The guy's got 2 fucking mouthpieces on. That's what I want. I want a lunatic cornerback who thinks he's like the strongest. He's skinny as hell. I know he thinks he's the strongest man in the NFL. You know what I mean? Like I want kind of an insane cornerback. And you're right. Whoever we get, always steal.
Always steal.
EDC knows what the fuck he's doing. I feel. I mean, we have the best organization in the NFL. We crush the draft. We're gonna load up. We're gonna win the fucking championship this year. It's gonna be great. Here's my official stance. This kid's a steal. He's gonna contribute right away.
Love it.
Okay, it's good confidence.
Love it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. I hope you do like a. You guys.
You are
pick
going
like
to get an
a
awesome player.
I hope you guys pick like a character concern guy, so you have to answer for him and Justin Tucker.
No, but then
we drafted kicker first round. then the writing's
awesome.
on the wall.
Yeah.
Even if you get like some shithead, that you're like, well, we got a great locker room.
Great
Yeah.
locker room.
So that's
great
straighten them
locker
out.
room.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Great locker room.
And
We're
if
fine.
it's not the locker room, you got the veterans. Ray Lewis
got
and
the
Terrell
veterans.
Suggs are going to come in and they'll
Yep.
mentor.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah.
Steve Smith. Did you see the
Steve
Steve
Smith.
Smith story?
Is there what's the newest one?
Oh, when he was banging
Oh,
that chick
yeah.
in the Ravens band.
He's the man for that one. That's fucking awesome.
Send him-
that's hilarious.
She was like texting
getting
him
your
like,
dick sucked by the tuba player and then calling her husband a nerd to his face. That's awesome.
she was like, you rearranged my IUD, and he was like, noted.
The noted is the best.
Noted. Thank you. I'll put that under the file of pussy damage I've caused.
Noted. All right, well, stop. You're the best. We love
Fellas,
having you
thank
on.
you. Yeah, please come see me
appreciate
at
it.
the tail end of the Dreamboat Tour. Stavvy.biz for tickets. Tire Season 2 comes out, I think, June 5th, somewhere around there.
Love it.
But yeah, that's all for me, guys.
It was a great show. It was
Thank
an
you.
awesome night of stand-up comedy.
Thank you. I feel
And the-
really good about it.
The crowd loved it. You are Chapel Roan for guys, I think.
For guys that look like me, I am Chapel Roan. Yes. Fuck.
Okay, let's wrap up. Long show, great show, lot to talk about. We got numbers. We also got. Fuck, you got me. 17. Shane is back from Italy. Shane brought us gifts, but he forgot them.
77.
Shane brought us gifts, but he forgot them. Shane,
Same.
we want the gifts on Wednesday's show. Is that okay?
What? Sure.
What do you mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
I want you to give the gifts when we're taping Wednesday's show on Tuesday, and we'll get a recap of your Italy trip.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't get Max anything.
Also, did you kill the Pope?
I did not kill the Pope. No.
Were you in Italy when the Pope died?
I was.
Oh, no.
I was on a,
Oh,
I was on a
that's-
train.
Oh,
When the news
getting
dropped.
out of town?
Yeah.
I was actually going more towards the scene of the crime, but
Oh, interesting.
They always say that
No
the
one
guy
would
that
expect
did
that.
it
No one would expect that.
hangs
Yeah.
out around the scene.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, numbers.
77.
17. That was one number off from
99
getting the
pro.
50-50 raffle tonight.
77.
34.
You're never going to get it.
21.
It's
You're never
gonna get
so much easier.
I thought I
you
said
have a
77.
50-50 chance.
I'll do 36.
Jack, did you say a number?
Oh, we got to send the lottery.
Cooper Flag finally declared.
Jack, what do you say?
34.
15.
15.
Damn, 2 numbers off.
15. 2 numbers
3
off.
combined numbers off.
I'm getting hot.
Ooh, Wizards got it.
Sim it again.
Let's go.
Let's sim it one more time. One more time.
Pelicans.
One more time.
Jazz.
One more time.
Jazz.
How many times do we have to
Hornets.
sim it for the Bulls to get it?
Blazers. Wizards.
Wizards.
Spurs.
Charlotte. Oh, you're cold, Max. Have we seen the Sixers
Jazz.
once?
Sixers.
There it is.
There it is.
All right. The next sim is going to be the one that's
I already
actually
won twice.
guaranteed.
New
New
Orleans.
Orleans. Fuck that. Forget that. That doesn't count. All right.
Love you guys.